Right, Louis, if you can hear. Louis, 10.
League day. Benji White here and the team with you on Radio Lard until 5 o'clock this evening. So the mathematics say Horsham can still win the Isthmian League Premier Division, a league position we're yet to see the Hornets in this season. A win against Hendon today would certainly take the bitter taste of defeats in the last two league games out their mouths. Well, a consistent Horsham team have had an inconsistent starting 11 as of late, so who does the Powlets choose today? Freddie Humphrey-Wakefield has the team news.
Good afternoon, everyone here listening on Radio Lard. Let's bring you the team news, beginning with the Hornets. In goal is Lewis Carey. Harvey Sparks starts at left back with Lee Harding at right back. Isaac Philpott and Jack Strange both start at centre half. The midfield trio is Danny Barker, just sitting a bit deeper than his other two midfield counterparts in James Hammond and Lucas Rodriguez. The front three, there is only one change to the Horsham starting 11, and it's at the central striker position as Chris Dixon comes into the side after Joel Daly's injury in the Sussex Senior Cup on Tuesday night. He is flanked either side by Reece Miles-Meekums and Daniel Ajakai. On the bench for the Hornets, Jake Elliott, Shamir Fenelon, who came on off the bench on Tuesday night but had to be substituted due to what looked to be a hamstring injury. Ola Ogunwamade, Jack Brivio and Montel Ajamang complete the five named subs. As for Hendon, they go with Matteo Salomon in goal. He's currently on a 1-month loan from Queen's Park Rangers. He's already had a loan spell at Wingate as well this season. Their back four consists of Isaac Curry and Jardel Sterling as the wing backs. The centre halves are Nikolai Krokin and Joseph Halsey. The midfield three has two changes from their last starting 11 against Billericay. Alkio Bainey comes into the starting 11 along with Stefan Illich and Lonit Talla to complete the midfield trio. The front three, the captain Nico Muir starts up front. He's got 18 goals this season, currently in his fourth spell with Hendon. He is flanked either side in a 4-3-3 by Rodell Gordon and Kofi Anoki Bowadi. As for the substitutes for Hendon, it's Leo Seri and Kombi Kawimbe who dropped to the bench. They're joined alongside Khalil Kerwin-Mead, Keegan Cole and Stephen Langley. But back to the Isthmian League table, as Benji mentioned in the introduction there, Horsham still looking to close that gap down at the top of the division. They're third in the league, 6 points off top. A win, it will keep them in third, but if Billericay Town are to lose at home to Wingate and Finchley and Dartford fall to defeat away at Bognor Regis, that will mean Horsham could get that gap down to 3 points, and you would like to think they will be winning this afternoon in West Sussex on non-league day. Hendon 19th in the table, 7 points off of safety with 7 games to go. Hendon, they're actually yet to win away this season. They've had 17 away games, they've drawn 8 of them and have lost the other 9, and Hendon's recent form, it doesn't get any better than their away form. They've not won in 19 league games and they've lost 14 of them, only picking up 5 of a potential 57 points. That last win was in November, so a win today would be their first win in 4 months, as the first few of your comments are coming in for the afternoon on Radio Lard. Corey, he's always asking for shout-outs. We'll give him another one. He lives out in Chichester. The Nottingham Hornet on a world cruise currently. He was in Cape Town when we last spoke to him on Tuesday. He's arriving in Cape Town early this morning. He's looking forward to a win. Benji Wyatt, are you looking forward to a win?
Yeah, good afternoon everybody here today. And yes, I am we're looking forward to hopefully a win for Horsham today. Of course, you've read over stats in regards to Hendon, very, very poor form, Freddie. So all things do point to what should be a comfortable win. Again, no game really is ever that comfortable in the Isthmian Premier League division, as we've found out this season. Of course, they've not won 19 games, not even one away from home this season. Already beating them at their place 4-0 earlier in the season. And of course, this game today is again another massive game for the Hornets. All the remaining games now are cup finals essentially, to hopefully cement our place in the playoffs and potentially push for the title, being obviously albeit 6 points of Billericay in first place. So again, still all to play for, but I am expecting a rather comfortable win today.
8 points off though that 6th place spot, Horsham, where Carl Sholton are. They have got to travel to Carl Sholton in a couple of weeks. That'll be a really big game actually within that playoff race, because Carl Sholton are only 2 points off of Dover in 5th, who have had a real slump down the table. On New Year's Day they were top of the division before they played Horsham, and now they've slumped down to 5th place. But you look down the bottom of the table, Hendon, you see they're already 7 points off safety. Canvey Island have a game in hand as well. Hastings, who are 3 points below them, even have a game in hand. But Hastings, again, just a really poor season. Only 30 goals scored in the division. If it's a loss for Bowes and Pitsea today, they will be confirmed relegated from the division. But you look at Hendon down the bottom of the table, of course, such a poor run of form. 19 games without a win, nearly half a season they've gone without winning a game. But right down the bottom, of course, it's not mathematically done yet, but you look at it there and it's 7 points with 7 to go. Do you really write them off already? Do you think that they're down currently? Because given their recent form, I think it's maybe a fair assessment to say that they are probably going to be playing Step 4 football next season.
I mean, of course, a management team might be saying that to their players. They're, of course, going to be getting them up for the game, going to keep sort of relaying positive messages and the fact that they still can mathematically stay up. Of course, in the back of their heads, they probably do think it could all be brought over if they were to fail to win today. But of course, they're going to go out into this game 5 seconds to win. And even if we were confirmed to go down, every player steps on the football pitch is not looking to lose a game. They're going to try and win every game possible. So they'll give the best account of themselves they can do. Of course they will. But hopefully, and I'm sure, won't be any match for the Hornets today. But like I said already, who knows? Stranger things have happened. We've seen upsets in our own season for ourselves here. We've been doing the giant killings over Worthing, Brighton, most notably only a few days ago. Also, Dorking once again this season. So nothing's ever out of the question.
No, it never is in football. That's the great unpredictability of the sport. As we're just looking around all 4 sides of the ground, with it being non-league day. Happy non-league day to you all listening, and everyone who has gone out and supported their non-league team, or you're listening to us here to some non-league football. Just looking all around the 4 sides of the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium, it's packed out, isn't it? There's barely any spare standing space wherever you look. The main stand is nearly full with no spare seats. It's really, really encouraging to see, and Horsham have already had a really good average attendance this season. Just seeing it again is brilliant.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see. As Freddie mentioned, not a league day, that's what it's all about today. Whilst international break is on, probably sent to sleep quite early last night by England, so up rejuvenated for a good game of football today. And this is what makes me keep coming back down to Horsham to watch the team I watched so consistently last season. I followed obviously by doing my volunteering for media and commentary, and obviously can't get down here as often for this season, but however I do make every attempt I can do, and this is what keeps dragging me back. The sort of the great atmosphere in the club, the great facilities, the great also team on the pitch, putting on a show for ourselves also. So all in all, obviously great facilities down here at Horsham, a great team, a great setup, great club, and also in the great grand scheme of things, non-league day itself, all the games going on today, I really do hope a lot of clubs can see their stands and stadiums packed out.
Yeah, it would be great to see, of course. Non-league, it should be celebrated. It shouldn't really just be celebrated on its own day. It should be celebrated every single weekend. It has down here at Horsham. It helps with the brilliant seasons that this club has had over the last 18 months. It's just been phenomenal to be a part of it and watching it all. But of course, Benji, you mentioned last season there. You mentioned to me just before we went on air about the starting 11. Apart from Chris Dixon, the rest of them were all here last season. So we know all of those men in yellow and green can do the job, but especially at non-league level as well, showing that retention and trust in players. 13 of the 16-man squad for Horsham today were all here last season, apart from Dixon, Elliott, Ogunmamade and Ajamang, so it's 12 rather, but maths was never my strong point. But you look at that, and we all know they can get the job done, and as we've sort of already said, we expect that this afternoon, given the sparse contrast between these two sides.
Yeah, 100%. It's great that we can retain players from last season. I was kind of under the impression was how well we played, the cup runs, the spotlight we were under. We may lose a few players, a few key players from last season, most notably sort of Ajakai or Hester Cook or Jack Strange. We managed to keep all of them players, hence why we've done so well this season. And it's huge. Typically in non-league clubs, there's a massive percentage of players that leave the club, massive percentage that come into the club. Even for my team back home now, Eastleigh, the difference in teams season on season is huge. So for a team like Horsham, 2 leagues lower than Eastleigh, who are in the National League, to keep almost the whole squad you've got here today, as already mentioned, it's fantastic. And also the starting 11, very familiar faces for myself. See, all by Chris Dixon, but I've seen and heard plenty of him already this season. What a great sort of athlete he is and a great player he is for the club. And the experience he's obviously got on the pitch to help out with the younger players has been great to see and also to hear about. So that team we've got out today could have been the same as last season, just by Chris Dixon, who would have been replaced by Shamir Fenelun, who only makes the bench list. But yeah, it's great we kept so many of our players. That's probably all down to credit for the club and the facilities. Also, Dom De Paula, he's been here since what, 2015? So again, that shows we can keep good quality staff and players, and they're obviously being kept here due to the great time and career we've had here, and also the great sort of setup here.
Only 4 minutes left until kick-off here on Radio Lard, and anyone who's watching us on the live stream on Hornets TV YouTube channel, courtesy of your instant replay, a warm welcome to you all as well. Hope you enjoy the afternoon of football, and hopefully you get a game that can match it as well. Should be a really good one, this, as there's a couple of vocal Hendon fans I can hear just over in the far right corner of the ground there, making all the noise as they walk around trying to support their club in numbers, and fair play to them. It's a bit of a journey to make from around the Wembley area of London for those Hendon fans. Come out in good numbers, wearing green and white scarves. They're all ready for what they hope can be their club's first win since November, as both sets of players are getting ready in that player dugout to our right hand side. But it's encouraging to see, isn't it, even though they're so long without a win, 19 games, lost 14 of those 19, to still come out and follow your team home and away at non-league level, it's just really, really nice to see, isn't it?
Yeah, again, that's the beauty of the game. Again, we can highlight that due to the day of being non-league day. As you're saying, a team on such a dire run of form, to still get fans to travel down from Hendon today, it's great to see. They're creating some noise, and that's what it's all about today. Football fans coming together, support my local club. No matter the result, football's always the winner.
Yeah, it always is. The age-old saying from Soccer AM, football always the winner, especially on non-league day. Such a brilliant attendance all out here at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium, as the players are going to get a guard of honour as they walk out onto the pitch. Some young mascots, I believe that's an under-9s team that have all come out to welcome the players. They've all got yellow and green Horsham flags with the club crest put on them, as we still await those men in yellow and green to come out and get us ready for what hopefully is a really interesting spectacle.
Guard of honour, is that a sign of things to come?
It may be. It may be. Who knows what will happen come the 26th of April. Final game of the season at home to Hashtag. It's only a 6-point gap. It's not impossible. As you said, Benji, stranger things have happened, but it'll take something. Of course, something has got to give. You have to hope that the two teams above lose 2 games, and there's only 7 to go, so the chances maybe get a little bit slimmer, but you never know. Pressure can prove costly sometimes, so who knows how Dartford and Billericay are going to cope.
Exactly. Take each game as it comes. Typical sort of saying from a gaffer, but yeah, take each game as it comes. You never know today. We could be 3 points from top, and come next weekend even closer. So who knows? Focus on the game in hand today. Get this job done. But on to the next weekend. Then to the next game, we'll go from there.
And you even talk about Hendon having to go from game to game. A win for them today, of course, would be huge. They'd only be 4 points off of safety. Their next game comes against Canvey Island away from home at the Steve's Taxi Stadium. So that's even bigger for them. Hendon, if they win today and then beat Canvey, they're then only a point off safety. So you mentioned in Horsham at the top of the table, it can just take that to go top in maybe 2 weeks' time. For Hendon, 2 weeks' time, they could just be a point off safety. But again, you just look at the recent form and think, well, this could end up proving costly. So touch wood, cross your fingers, whatever you do if you're superstitious. If you just look at the recent form and think, well, where is a win going to come from? As outcome, both sets of teams, Horsham in that yellow and green, Peru-inspired sashed kit with green shorts and yellow socks. Their goalkeeper, Lewis Carey, opting for the all-purple goalkeeper kit. Hendon, of course, this would very much be a kit clash if they were to wear their home colours of green and white, so they opt for the away kit of black and white, led out by the captain, Nico Muir. Their goalkeeper, Salomon, is in an all-red goalkeeper kit as they all come out, the players, and exchange handshakes. Howie the Hornet standing over them, watching on as he gives a high five to all the players as they run off. And the Horsham ones just to our right side, they're doing that quick warm-up, the square of cones set up by Jimmy Punter with the two in the middle, everyone passing and move, getting the limbs loose before they take on a Hendon side. Not one in 19 matches, but you never know in football.
Let's have a little kit review of Hendon here. We've got a away kit, so it's a white shirt, white base. You've got black on the shoulders and a green strip going directly down the centre of the shirt. What do you think, Freddie?
I quite like that. It's rather nice. Got a bit of a Derby County vibe about it.
Yeah, it's a bit different, with the dark green going straight down the middle of the shirt. Yeah, I like it. I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you there. But as they're all just warming up, those Hendon players to our left, a quick just jump up and down, get the legs loose. They go into a team huddle amongst each other, and again, you can't help not talk about Hendon's form, but you wonder for players, what are they saying in those sort of huddles? You can only imagine it's along the lines of, look, really tough period we're going through at the minute. All we can do is just, as you said earlier, Benji, take every game as it comes, see what we can do, try our absolute hardest to get ourselves any points possible. But you really do wonder for them, at such a tough period and looking like it could be relegation to step 4, you just wonder what are they talking about? How can they get themselves up for games when you're in this really such a bad run of form?
If I'm in the dressing room, for me it's still or die. Nothing to lose really, either going down or you're staying up. Give it all you've got for the last few games you've got the season, and who knows, that's the least you can do, and it's the least they should be putting into this match today.
Yeah, well, they could either go down with a whimper or they can go down trying. We'll see what happens and what their mentality is, Hendon, this afternoon, as the coin toss has been done by the referee, as the Horsham players go into their pre-match huddle amongst each other. Howie the Hornet gives us a wave. The linesmen have taken place, as has the referee for the afternoon, Thomas Copping, his assistants Sam Ogles and Adrian Knight. Hendon will be the side to get us underway, as Lonit Talla is the man stood over the ball on the halfway line in that black and white kit with the green strip down the middle. Non-league day about to be underway at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium as Chris Dixon exchanges pleasantries with the Hendon manager. Just a quick
not a fan of that.
No, you're not a fan, are you?
No.
What do you make of that?
Again, a war, it's not ballet.
Fair enough. As we await kick-off in what could be a game of war and not ballet, as Benji says. Talla still awaits the referee's whistle, and at 3 minutes past we're underway in West Sussex for non-league day. Hendon away at Horsham, as straight from the kick-off. Hendon looked to utilise a long ball in search of Alki Obani, but that one has dropped behind for the Horsham throw-in, which Harding takes quickly, goes backwards to Philpott, long ball over the halfway line, can't find Dixon as Muir chests it down, the Hendon captain. Played wide on the right flank, drops for Rodriguez, about 10 yards from the halfway line, finds Ajakai with the reverse pass, and off he goes, Ajakai. Electric pace down the right wing, his cross is deflected and goes behind for the first corner of the game. Only 40 seconds played, Horsham 0, Hendon 0.
Yeah, great start from Luke there, breaking my lines, breaking the ball out wide. Ajakai gets down the wing, looking for the ball in the box to try and pick out Dixon. It's a good block. Is that for a corner or a throw? I can't quite make out.
It was a corner. The referee pointed his flag down to that bottom left quadrant. But what you said there about Rodriguez, probably that could be the game plan for him in that position. Just trying to break the lines and play those reverse passes was a really good one to Ajakai. He weighted it perfectly. As Sparks will stand over the corner. He will play it short to Rodriguez. First time pass back to Sparks. Deep cross towards the back post is perhaps just a bit overhit. Dixon flicks it up, claims of handball, but nothing given by the referee as Hendon now look to venture forward with Gordon, and his pass through to Muir is cut out by Meekums, who had retreated back from the forward line, and it's in the possession of Horsham's centre half, Isaac Philpott, on the edge of his own penalty area. But a bright start from the Hornets. They're looking to be direct and try and carve out chances. Here's Hammond just to the right of the halfway line, and Horsham now doing very much what Brighton and Hove Albion did to them on Tuesday night, just keeping the ball amongst their back third, but they now go long. Harding gets a good touch on it, looks to break it through to Ajakai, who's on the right side of the penalty area, but his effort is saved by Salomon. Ajakai not scored a league goal since the 24th of August. He was ever so close to opening the scoring there. 2 minutes on the clock. Horsham 0, Hendon 0, as Harding plays it down the right channel for Hammond. Early cross in, deflected. Second Horsham corner of the game. 2.5 minutes played. They're all over Hendon here.
Yeah, third time they've gotten already. I mean, Ajakai chance. Looks like he was stumbling a little bit, probably due to the pressure from the defender. Towards it towards goal, so a good obviously save. Kept out the Hendon keeper, being Solomon in goal. Now we've got a corner.
Sparks again will go over to take it, but Ajakai there, as mentioned, not scored a league goal since Horsham beat #United 4-1 away from home. He's only scored 6 goals this season and scored 20 last season, and that was his chance maybe to break a bit of a goal drought for himself. But Horsham could find the opener from the corner. Oh, and it's been put in! It's flicked off of Strange. The header behind from the Hendon defender came off the Horsham centre half. Strange gets his first goal of the season, and with only 3 minutes on the clock in West Sussex, it's Horsham 1, Hendon 0.
Yeah, I mean the goal's been coming. Further chance, second corner of the game, whips in, takes Nick off the defender, Strange puts it over the line. 1-0 in 4 minutes, great start.
Fantastic start indeed for the Hornets. As you said there, it was coming. They've been all over Hendon in the opening 3.5 minutes we've played. The goal perhaps has a big element of fortune to it. A header backwards from a Hendon defender right onto Strange, who I don't think he knew much about it at all, but he won't care. Strange opens his account for the season, and he's the 15th different player to score in a yellow and green shirt this season, as again from their kickoff Hendon go long, but Bainey's header backwards goes right out of play for a Horsham throw. And again, even with Horsham a goal up, they just look that bit more intense than their opposition. They really look on the front foot, and they know that 3 points is what they need, and they're going to go about getting it.
I mean, Hendon's back line's like a sieve, holes in it all over the place. We're getting in with ease. That's where the goals come from, getting down in between the full-back and centre half, getting the corners, making the chances.
It's forward, come Hendon. It's in the possession of Illich. He'll play it back for the full-back. Halsey plays it in field. Good work from Talla to work away from Rodriguez, as Muir is unable to get the ball away from Barker. But Barker does really well to get away from Illich, keeps the ball, plays it back to Sparks, who clears the danger with a long ball. It's headed up down this left-hand side. Barker goes up to win back possession, Horsham's midfielder, and the ball is just seen out by Halsey, and that'll be a Hendon throw right on the halfway line. 5 minutes gone at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium. Horsham looked there to get their second, but the long ball in search of Dixon. It did find him, but the former Ghana international was in an offside position. Horsham leading Hendon by a goal to nil, courtesy of a Jack Strange goal from a corner. As forward come Hendon, and in credit to their fans, despite conceding early, they're still making all the noise as Dixon attempts a volleyed pass through to Ajakai, and you just heard from Dom De Paula there, he wants his forward man to be a little bit more simple with the ball as Harding hooks it through, and Dixon is onside, he pokes it through to Ajakai, right side of the area, but the flag has gone up. It's gone up on Ajakai, but I think I agree with you there, that looked really tight from where we were.
I mean, the first ball was definitely onside, and the ball Dixon played out wide to Ajakai, I thought either in line at best or behind Dixon, so yeah, I don't know.
Free kick will restart play. Salomon, the man with the free kick, is already brilliant news for Horsham of the teams below them, because Lewis are already 2-0 up against Cray Valley Paper Mills, and they've only played 7 minutes there at the Dripping Pan. We've played 6 minutes here at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium. It's Horsham 1, Hendon 0. As goal news elsewhere at the top of the table, Billericay Town lead by a goal to nil against Wingate and Finchley. They scored within the 5 minutes, much like Horsham did. So at the top of the table, you have first and third winning. Horsham, as it stands, still 6 points off top. They're only 2 points off Dartford because it's still 0-0 there. But what about that? Well, I say it's still 0-0. As soon as I say that, Dartford have scored away at Bognor Regis, so all of the top three are now currently winning in the Isthmian League Premier Division, and all the games are only 7 minutes in, like we are here at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium. Everyone at the top is making sure they can get maximum points, apart from Cray Valley, who are 2-0 down against Lewis. So it's been a very frantic start all around the grounds, hasn't it? Everyone in the top three winning. They're getting the business done early.
Yeah, plenty of the guys ready, put them on a show for non-league day for sure.
As Horsham's goal kick restarts play, Carey booting it long, looking for Ajakai. There's claims of handball, and the referee gives it, despite, as you'd expect, a bit of disagreement from the Hendon defender. But play will restart with a Horsham free kick. 7.5 minutes gone on non-league day. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. Horsham in possession with Sparks, their left back, who just has to turn away from Illich, who was applying the pressure. And Carey will play it diagonally for Harding, who misses the flick on. Ajakai couldn't get onto the second ball, so that one will drop behind for a Hendon throw, as we've got another listener here from an extravagant location, Fizz94, greetings from Thailand. So we've got listening in Thailand, in Cape Town, it's global Radio Lard on non-league day, as Hendon look to try and carve out an attacking opportunity. Meekham's pokes the ball through, but Halsey has left a bit on him there, the Horsham winger Miles Meekham's, who just slowly does get back up to his feet, moves with a little bit of a limp in his step at first, but seems more than okay to continue. But you notice there, Dom De Paula and Jimmy Punter, they sprinted off their feet after that foul, so clearly they felt the referee, Thomas Copping, maybe should have got the cards out. But play has restarted. Hammond with a lovely diagonal ball. What a touch from Ajakai. Right side of the penalty area, looked to pull it across to Dixon, but his low cross is cut out and blocked. But with 9 minutes on the clock, that's the third time Horsham have broke through that right-hand side, looked for the cross along the face of goal, albeit it's not been successful for them just yet, but 10 minutes in, they've had 4 brilliant chances to keep adding to their goal tally.
Yeah, Ajakai has seen penning the ball down his right flank, a great ball from Hammond, just switches it out to our winger. It looks like he's going to have Isaac Curry on skates this afternoon. Just got to make sure he makes his chances count though. So he's tried cutting back on to his right, it's been dispossessed, unlucky, but I'm sure we'll get another chance.
Harding will restart play with the throw-in as he looks for Dixon, who's unable to win the flick on loose touch as Rodriguez almost pounced on it. Wasn't the best control from Sterling. The ball is up in the air, hooked forward as Philpott does well just to bring the ball down, play it back to the goalkeeper Carey, who restarts play, rolling it out to the edge of his own penalty area. Philpott goes long, Ajakai gets the touch in, can't win the second ball, it drops for Gordon, the Hendon midfielder. He's under pressure from Hammond, he's able to get his pass away to Halsey, who clips it to the edge of the penalty area. Philpott will deal with it, and Sparks has to boot the ball up beyond the halfway line. Hammond nodding it down for Meekums, whose pass is cut out again by Gordon. He volleys it up in the air. Philpott can only head it as far as Talla, who's in a central position, looks to break the lines. Philpott's sliding challenge has dropped into the possession of Anoke Boydie. Good chance for Hendon, but it's put wide at the far post. It was Curry who had sprinted forward from left back, was unnoticed in the Horsham penalty area to the left of goal, ends up putting his effort wide. Nearly 11 minutes on the clock in West Sussex on non-league day. Horsham 1, Hendon 0, but just from their first real lapse in concentration there, Horsham could have found themselves back level pegging.
Yeah, it's a warning there. I'm not quite sure what happened really for Curry. Did he slip over? It was a massive chance though.
Did look like he did. Certainly a big chance as Hammond clips it long down the left channel. Dixon is quick and he's got to the ball, has Dixon. Left hand side, entering the penalty area. Crosses it to Ajakai, gets the touch, flicked off, but it misses the head of Rodriguez. He may still get an opportunity. He plays it wide to Harding. The ball's still in the Hendon penalty area. It's back with Barker 25 yards from goal, but Horsham will just recycle possession. Rodriguez pokes it through, but Harding can't get on the end of it, and it drops into the gloves of Salomon. But Ajakai there looking to be the selfless creator, but just overhit that little pullback to Rodriguez, and it was just above his head.
Yeah, the inside channels between the centre-halves and the full-backs is gaping space here. Dixon put out to the left here, gets to the byline, puts the ball across the box. It flicks up to Ajakai, tries laying it off, but unfortunately the Hendon man got an end of that ball. But yeah, as I said, plenty of holes in this defence which we should be exploiting and taking advantage of.
Perhaps why they've not won in 19 games, Hendon. That could be all down to that. It does seem as if those fullbacks and centre halves, you just look at Halsey here on this near side, how far up he is, and even the gap between him and his nearest centre half. There's just so much space that if Horsham can win the ball back and counter, they'll end up making use of it, as Horsham have won themselves a free kick deep in their own half. 12 and a half minutes gone, the Hornets lead Hendon by 1-0 at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium. They got the opener within the first 4 minutes through Jack Strange, his first goal of the season, as Carey has got the ball rolled under his studs. He clips it long, looking for Dixon. Halsey cuts it out, the Hendon fullback. It's a really neat turn from Talla to get away from Hammond. The pass isn't as neat. It's right at Strange, who's clipped it long, looking for Ajakai, who's onside on the right wing. Has Rodriguez with him. Ajakai looks to cross. Meekums, it's left for Dixon on the volley, but it's down the centre of the goal. Salomon just gets down low, picks it up, but again, from a crossfield ball to that right wing, Horsham again, so much room to work with, and as you've been mentioning in the 13 minutes we played, Benji, that right hand side where there's the gap between fullback and centre half, Horsham, they look like they're going to have so much joy down that channel this afternoon. As Hendon looked to go up the other end, but Philpott deals with it and clears it behind.
Yeah, as you were saying, Freddie, again, it's just a simple clipped ball over the top of the fullback. Ajakai runs onto it, it's got plenty of time, picks out Dixon in the area. Again, he's got time to bring it down and have sort of a half-volleyed shot towards goal. Unfortunately, he's not got sort of power and accuracy behind this shot, goes straight through to the keeper's arms. But again, it's just quite comfortable for Ajakai on the right-hand side at the minute.
Yeah, certainly having a good start to the game is Ajakai, as we've played 14 minutes in West Sussex. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. The ball is with Horsham's deep-lying midfielder, Danny Barker, lays it back for Harding, who boots it up over the halfway line from deep. It's dealt with by the head of Sterling. Hammond cuts it out, Meekums gets away from Halsey, can't get away from Sterling, who's done a neat heel-to-heel flick, and he's away from Hammond and Barker. Sterling does shoot from range, it's deflected off of his own teammate there in Muir rather than Philpott, but again, just a slight lapse in concentration. Horsham maybe just overdoing it a little bit, perhaps. Well, you can tell they're growing in confidence from the start they've had. Ever since minute 1, they've been the better side in the game, but just maybe they're becoming just a little bit complacent, and the gap in quality between them and their opposition, maybe they're beginning to feel it quite a lot. As Dixon, good flick on, can't find Meekums, but that there from Dixon, right as we're talking about Horsham maybe getting complacent with their play, up they go. As Hendon looked to create an attacking opportunity as the referees pulled back play for a foul on Anoke Boadi, as Sparks got it back, booted it forward, but the referee made it clear he was going to play the advantage and bring it back. There's still those Hendon fans behind the goal making plenty of noise, hoping that their team can draw level. They've been behind for 10 minutes, 15 and a half played in total. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. As Gordon stands over the free kick, he swings it to the far post. It's flicked on, but Carey commands his 6-yard area well, comes off his line and just picks up the ball, and he'll just stand with it in his gloves.
Yeah, do you know what, Hendon, they can slowly make an in-ground into our half here. Oh, it's a great turn from Meekums there.
Equally as good sliding challenge from Halsey to win back possession for Hendon. It's with Gordon playing it back to the halfway line. Now it's rolled forward into the Horsham half with Talla back in the possession of Crokin. Looks for Anoike Boadi, who's trying to get away from Harding. He hasn't, as Ajakai had to come back and apply the pressure. Harding able to clear it down the right channel. He finds Rodriguez, but he's been dispossessed. Ajakai almost wins the ball back. But Hendon, again, they've played out of press well, just neatly playing those 1-2 passes. And now you do feel maybe they're starting to get a bit more control in this game, grown into it slowly. But there they try a long ball, cut out by Horsham's goalkeeper Carey, and his side leading by a goal to nil, 16 and a half minutes gone.
Yeah, do you know what, the man behind this, Hendon, small revival, was Lonit Talla. So he played youth level at QPR, and you can tell in the middle of the park, number 8, starting to pick up the ball, make a few nice turns, and makes him inroads into our half.
Barker almost releases Ajakai down that right channel again. You feel Crokin has learnt his lesson after leaving that channel a bit wide open. He got to the ball first ahead of Ajakai. It's been put behind for a Horsham corner. It's their third of the afternoon. We've played 17 and a half minutes almost in West Sussex on non-league day. The scoreline, Horsham 1, Hendon 0. And their last corner came from this right-hand side. They scored from it. Can they get another goal from a set piece? Sparks, again, will go over and take it. He raises both arms in the air. Interestingly, so did Philpott in the penalty area. So straight away you can see that that's the signal, as a few of those yellow and green shirts venture over to the far post. Again, Sparks raises both arms in the air. He swings it almost all the way in, as Salomon had to jump up and flick the ball behind his own crossbar. And Sparks, he's done that before in a yellow and green shirt, scored directly from a corner. But Horsham get another one, this time from the opposite side on the left, which Hammond will stand over. 18 minutes gone. Horsham 1, Hendon 0 in the Isthmian League Premier Division. As Hammond puts the ball down in the quadrant, it's just the one arm he raises in the air, swung high towards the back post, headed across by Philpott, but that one ends up going behind the goal and is rebounded back in play by a young spectator. But even at a goal up, and where Horsham maybe you might expect a team just to drop off a little bit having taken the lead, they're not doing that. They're desperate to get themselves the next goal, playing with that still 0-0 mentality.
Oh yeah, you can't sit on a one goal lead, especially this sort of level. Hendon could get a goal from anywhere, sort of thing. So you can't sit on a 1-0 lead. It's right and keep going for a second. Nearly come there. Sparks only directly from the corner, as you mentioned, Freddie, but yeah, still pushing. But still Hendon now.
So the ball drops into the possession of Muir, the Hendon captain, rolls it into the possession of Talla. Now it's dropped for Illich, right side. His low shot across goal is well dealt with by Carey. That's the first shot on target that Hendon have had. But again, just through where Horsham couldn't trap the ball and hold possession, they're almost made to pay for it. Here's Rodriguez, brilliant flick onto Ajakai on the right wing. Here goes Ajakai, deep cross. It's cut out by the head of Sterling, who maybe had a bit more time to deal with it than he thought, as Meekums picks up the ball on the left byline. Sparks rolling it back to Hammond, Horsham's captain. Meekums flicks it through to Sparks, nodded on, but I don't think Hammond was expecting that, because he just stood still like a deer at headlights and he just watched the ball run away from him, and it goes behind for the goal kick in the end. But just there, Horsham really neat triangle passing on the right wing and then on the left. So again, just completely controlling the game. Some really nice football being played. 20 minutes on the clock. It's Horsham 1, Hendon 0, but it really could have been so much more.
Yeah, it's getting a bit back and forth now, a bit like a basketball game in that sense. Hendon having a shot with Illich, and obviously next thing you know, with that never end posing a threat. So it's, yeah, a bit back and forward, which I would probably take a stab in the dark and guess Dom would rather not that be the case and rather it be a bit more controlled in that sense. But a good spectacle for the fans nonetheless.
As the Hendon fans are letting everyone know they feel like they're watching football in a library. Well, it'd be a very busy library with how many people are out here in West Sussex as Dixon pokes it through. Rodriguez right side, pulls back, just can't find Ajakai, who was a few too many yards behind it. And Talla, the Hendon midfielder, will deal with it. He'll clip it long. Philpott will nod it away and it will drop into the possession of Anoike Bodie, plays it back, it's booted long by Curry, well dealt with by the head of Strange. Rodriguez slips in the turf, but he's managed to keep the ball, poke it through the legs of the onrushing Hendon man, but Rodriguez is feeling the after effects there as Hammond clipped the heels of Gordon, but that's not what the referee's blown his whistle for. He's done because Rodriguez has gone down on his hands and knees. He's feeling the after effects of that coming together. Is Rodriguez. Would be ashamed to see him go off. He scored the only goal of the game on Tuesday night in the Sussex Senior Cup semi-final. Had a really good game. He's had an electric start in this one with nearly 22 minutes on the clock. Horsham leading by a goal to nil as Gordon stands over it to restart play with the free kick. But Rodriguez seems to be okay to continue. Gordon swings that free kick deep into the Horsham area where Crokin has made it awkward for Strange, but the Horsham centre half was able just to shift his body away so that he didn't get the last touch on it and put it behind for a corner. So instead it's a Horsham goal kick which Kerry will stand over. But with halfway through the first half, it's hard not to be very pleased with what we've seen from in a yellow and green fan point.
Yeah, it's been very good for Horsham, a good start. But that being said, Hendon have come back into the game. They've created a few chances for themselves, most notably Illich down this right-hand side. However, on the whole, we have been the more dominant side and probably could be a couple more goals ahead.
Ajakai again looks to be set away down that right wing where Curry is just starting to get that little bit tighter to him now. Perhaps he heard you talking about him, Benji, and that he's been put on skates by Ajakai so far in this game. 23 minutes on the clock, Horsham 1, Hendon 0. Salomon putting the ball on the surface and booting it long into the Horsham defensive third where Hammond flicks it on looking for Meekums. Harding goes up and Rodriguez, all he can do is volley it away, but neither Meekums nor Dixon could get anywhere near it. And again, Hendon will just win back possession in their defensive third. Sterling taking his time with the ball at his feet, launches it diagonally where Harding is able to cut it out. Ajakai back for Harding, the Horsham fullback, who with the first time touch just volleys it away. It just looks like maybe when Horsham are out of possession, it just looks like maybe they're switching up a little bit in the forward line. Rodriguez playing that little bit further forward, almost as if he's acting like a number 10 alongside Dixon. As Ajakai's done, he's unfortunate to not keep the ball. Looked as if he was going to, as he had two black and white shirts on him. Lost possession, and it's dropped behind for Crokin, the Hendon centre half. And they're taking their time with the ball. Meekums cuts it out, and there's a coming together with Gordon, who's been given a yellow card for sliding in on Meekums, who had the ball come off his face as well. He's just laying flat on his front is Meekums, still feeling a few after effects of the coming together, but all it's given is a free kick and a yellow card.
Yeah, going back to what you're saying, Fred, in regards to our press and shape for Horsham, I've noticed quite a lot of, obviously, looking most recently in like Champions League fixtures, a lot of teams do tend to press into a 4-2-4 formation, bringing up one of your midfielders into the front line to press. Most notably, I've been seeing that with Real Madrid. A massive club in regards to that, but they press in a 4-2-4, so it is quite common these days.
Clearly modern football at the very top, having it just trickling down into non-league level as play restarts with the free kick. Hammond switching it across for Philpott, but no one in a yellow and green shirt pounced on the header, but Ajikai's done so well to get it off Bainey down the right wing. He's away from Curry. The cross in, just can't find Rodriguez, but he has got to the second ball. It's in the penalty area on the right-hand side. Back with Ajikai, whose cross is blocked, comes back off his standing leg, and Hendon are able to clear it away. Strange nods it down to Hammond, and it's in the possession of Philpott. 25.5 minutes gone at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. Sparks just playing the ball back to Horsham's goalkeeper Carey inside his 18-yard box. Philpott will roll it forward for Hammond. The ball back in Horsham's penalty area. Carey, edge of his 6-yard box, taking his time with it in possession, rolls the ball under his studs before going to the left wing for Sparks, who's got away from Talla. And now Horsham are having to play triangular passes amongst their left-hand side of defence. Hendon just applying a bit more pressure now, looking to make it awkward as Carey's long ball does find Dixon. Sparks hooks it down the left channel, looking for Meekums. Croken is there to cut it out and put it behind for a Horsham throw, which they chuck the bodies forward, but there's not an option for Sparks to distribute quickly. He's got Hammond, who he uses. Curled across, almost found Rodriguez, who had made a diagonal run to that central area of the 18-yard box, but went away from him and dropped calmly into the gloves of Salomon. 27 minutes almost played on non-league day. Horsham 1, Hendon 0, and you feel that the away side, they're slowly just making it a bit more frustrating for the Hornets. As Philpott's long ball, Dixon in a foot race with the goalkeeper. Salomon does win it, and the Hendon shot stopper. Meekums goes down, but it's a soft one at that if it was going to be given. Halsey winning back possession, plays it forward. It's back with Halsey. Curled ball down the left channel. Philpott able to cut it out with his head. Sparks in possession, giving it to Hammond, into Dixon, whose flick off to Meekums was cut out. As Dixon comes from behind, he's left the foot in on Gordon. He doesn't think it's a foul, and Dixon there with a beaming smile just even looked over at Meekums and just apologised that he couldn't get the flick on right. The idea was there, but perhaps the execution wasn't from the 40-year-old, as he's trying to press the ball and steal it off Sterling. But Hendon go back to their goalkeeper Salomon, who's got a very impressive long kick on him, but Sparks has cut out that one to the left wing. Meekums into Hammond. Still Horsham have to utilise the ball on the left wing. Sparks playing it long. Sterling heads it away. Halsey with the touch, pounced on by Meekums. Dixon, this time the flick-on's right to Meekums, who's burst into the left side of the penalty area, but Halsey's done really well to recover, slide in and get to the ball. Salomon looked as if he had kept it in play. He hadn't, but the referee has gone back. He's awarded a goal kick, which...
There's no rest of goal kick. If anything, it's a corner. Yeah, but it's been blocked by the defender. He's tackled Meekums, I thought, personally, but
it's very...
We'll let our viewers decide.
Well, we can't reverse the decision. No one can. It's happened now, but it's a really neat flick on from a Noah K40. Strange has absolutely clattered into Curry, played his zooms, but the cross in has gone behind the goal. The referee has just
I heard that from here, absolutely smashed into him.
You did. You heard the contact right up here, those bodies coming together. Strange just running over and leaving his body in on Curry, but the referee as well, he's booked Strange for that. He's given him a yellow card as the Hendon physio has had to be called onto the pitch after that. Curry just down on the surface, he's pounding the surface in pain as Billericay have conceded. It's 1-1 between them and Wingate now, so the live table as it stands, Horsham are only 4 points off top of the table, but Dartford are also 4 points ahead of them as they're winning by 1-0 away at Bognor. It's Horsham 1, Hendon 0 here with 30 minutes on the clock, and Curry, he's still receiving medical attention. Even Strange has just dropped down to one knee, so both men clearly feeling the after effects of that coming together.
Yeah, as I said, I heard it from there. Absolutely just smashed into him. The ball was kind of long gone. I don't think has he booked him? I don't think he has booked him, to be honest.
He did book Strange. He tarnished he got the yellow card.
Yeah,
out.
fair enough. Strange has been booked, rightly so for that. He did absolutely clatter into him. So yeah, deserved yellow card. I mean, going to be a bit of a break in play now on the 30th minute mark. So probably a bit of added time on the end of this half now, I'd imagine.
Well, we had a 20-minute stoppage in play on Tuesday night, and we had a 17-minute one when Horsham beat Whitehawk by 5-0. So we're used to long stoppages here.
Yeah, I noticed that in the movie. What happened there?
Well, on Tuesday night, it was Ogunwamade looked to clear the ball away from his own area. Sammy Shushain, who's played on loan at Northampton as well this season, he got the ball right in his face, and it knocked him out. He was laid on the surface for, it felt like 20 minutes. I think the exact was probably around 17 or an 18-minute stoppage, and he had to be stretchered off with an oxygen mask on. So even though it was an accidental one, hopefully he's okay. Of course, we send all of our best wishes to him, but through a completely accidental just clearance, play had to be stopped for 20 minutes. A player had to be stretchered off.
Wow, I mean, don't see that again, do you? And yeah, of course, wish him all the best in that regard.
Benji's team sheet has just flown off. That's why he stopped talking.
Sorry about that.
The wind's picked up, hasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know who suits more really the break and play. I mean, obviously, no one's really going up to the managers, really, just kind of standing on a pitch, just chatting amongst themselves. But I mean, Hendon have done well, I guess, not to collapse completely, because I did think opening 5 or 6 minutes they really could be folding on themselves. But they held their own to an extent, created some of their own chances, albeit not clear cut, but have made inroads into our half and into the box. Not challenging Carey too much, but not a bad response, I'd say. I'd imagine the feeling from Hendon's boss.
Apologies for almost cutting you off there. 32 minutes gone in West Sussex. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. As Hendon look like they may be getting a change ready. They've got the shirt of Callie Kirwan-Mead ready, just below us, the number 12, who's look as if he may come on. Isaac Curry has left the pitch, and from the goal kick, Dixon, because you can't be offside, is in the penalty area, brings it down to the right of goal, but he just flashes it wide and into the back of the Octatec stand. That was very similar to a goal Horsham scored against Potters Bar last season. Carey clipping the ball long from the goal kick. Dixon, of course, you can't be offside from a goal kick. He took advantage of that rule in the penalty area, completely unmarked, but he just was forced a bit further wide and put it wide of the goal. That was a great chance for 2-0, and really you wouldn't want any other player but Dixon on the end of that long ball.
Yeah, I do recall that goal that you're on about with McGoss. I think it was Mazzone, wasn't it?
Yes.
Carey played. I mean, Dixon could have maybe pulled it back, Sajikai waiting a cutback. The angle did close itself down the further he got to the byline, but yeah, massive chance nonetheless.
Yeah, fantastic chance for Horsham that to go 2-0 up. 33 and a half minutes on the clock, as it isn't going to be Kirwan-Mead coming on. Instead, it's going to be one of the two men who were dropped from last weekend against Billericay. Kombe Kawimbi is going to come on, the 18-year-old who's on loan from Hemel Hempstead, also had a loan spell with Kettering Town. He's going to come on in place of Isaac Curry, the left back, as the Hendon manager is just having a conversation with the Horsham analyst Robert Chapman about the linesman being so far away, as Kawimbe already had his shirt on ready to go, as they're still having a disagreement, the Hendon manager and the linesman on this near side. But the substitution has been made. Curry forced off through that coming together with Strange. Kawimbe is on, and play will restart with a Hendon throw over on the far side as the ball is in the hands of Halsey. It looks as if Halsey has swapped wings. He's going to be playing over on the far side, and Kawimbe will just be in front of us. Brilliant bit of skill from Halsey. Left side of the penalty area, but he's, after that neat bit of skill, he's ran the ball right out of play, and it ends up dropping behind for a Horsham goal kick. They're lucky there, the Hornets, that bit of trickery didn't end up in a goal scoring opportunity for them. It's Horsham 1, Hendon 0, with nearly 35 minutes on the clock. We're almost into the final 10 minutes of the first half, as Carey plays his goal kick long. Harding misses the ball and it drops behind for a throw-in on the halfway line. Halsey will stand over the throw, plays it infield for Talla. Sterling having to just knock it across. Meekham's applying the pressure on Kawimbi, who's able to get his pass away. A little heel flick from Illich, works his way to get a few yards away from Sparks, who just had to clear the ball out for the Hendon throw. As Kawimbi assesses his options, finds Talla, flicked on by Illich. Muir able to bring it down. Horsham can't fully clear the danger. Hendon looking to finish the half off strong as they're trailing by a 0 with a little over 9 minutes left of the first half. Gordon being heavily pressed by Hammond, and it's Gordon who's got away. Hammond in the end pulls him back by the arm. Down
So soft.
I disagree with you personally. I think that was a nailed-on foul.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll shut up then.
Yeah, that's probably why we're not match officials. Well, I say just yet. I don't think either of us are ever going to go off and do our refereeing courses, if we will. There's free kick taken by Gordon. He's looked to catch out Carey at the near post. Muir had come across to try and get in front of Harding. As in the end, Harding is pushed over, and Horsham will restart play with a free kick of their own. 8.5 minutes left of the first half. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. Horsham have had the lead for over half an hour through Jack Strange from a Harvey Sparks corner, and since that goal they've still carved out a few opportunities, but really the last 15 minutes or so their intensity levels have dropped a little bit and they're allowing Hendon to come back into this one.
Yeah, since that stoppage play lost in the flow of the game, which I probably would imagine would have been the case, not really got a massive foothold in attacking terms since that stoppage play. So half-time nearly approaching. Here we go.
Harding playing it down to Ajakai, who's away from Halsey. Right-hand side, edge of the penalty area. Pulled across, can't find Dixon. Ajakai, he's been a bit lacklustre with his crossing on that far side in this game so far. He's had plenty of time on the ball. He's seen a lot of it as it comes over to him. And you feel there, just in a bit of frustration, he just chucks the ball into the ground before allowing Harding to take the throw, which does find Ajakai almost in the area, but Halsey deals with it. Hammond nods it back out to Harding on the right wing, keeps it in play, gets beyond his man, but it's a really good recovery from Anoikie Boadi to get there first. Ajakai got the headed touch, couldn't get to the second ball, and off will go Talla. Down the right wing, Rodriguez doing well just to hold him in possession. And Hendon will play the ball backwards. Crokin and Sterling, the centre halves, exchange passes. Hendon in possession, deep in their own half. Sterling just venturing a few yards further forward. As Sterling able to play it away. Bainey back for Sterling, and Illich has dropped deep from midfield to make himself available. And Hendon again, under Horsham pressure, have done well to keep the ball and play out of it. As again they go long. Harding cuts out the long ball to Halsey. He's done well to get to the second ball as well, Harding. Hammond playing it back for him. And Carey completely shanks his clearance up over on the right wing. The ball even bounces awkwardly as Harding's able to clear it away. Brilliant touch from Gordon to get away from Rodriguez, who's done well to use his strength and plays the pass to Sterling. But Meekums steals it off him, and Hammond's away, and Meekums is through. Hammond now rolls it through to Meekums, but his touch is wrong, and it's cut out by Kawimbi. But you felt there, as soon as Hammond got the ball, he should have just played it through, had Meekums and Dixon right in front of him. As Hendon now go up the other end, Strange cuts out the clearance, as Meekums looking to keep it in play on the near side, drops behind for the Hendon throw-in. With a little over 39 minutes on the clock, Horsham 1, Hendon 0. As Meekums rolls it through, Dixon is onside to the left of goal. Dixon in the penalty area, can't get the ball across the face of goal right. How many times have we said that this afternoon in the 40 minutes of play?
Yeah, been getting some great spaces down either flank now, whether it's Ajakai on the right or Dixon's drifted out to the left, and just not getting that final ball right almost moments before that. Had a break on where Hammond play a pass through to Meekums, but got it ever so slightly wrong, so still remains 1-0 here.
Hammond will go over to stand on the corner. A comment here from Colin Young, Braveheart himself. Afternoon from the New Forest. What's happening? Sorry, I'm late to the party. What's happening? 40 minutes in, Horsham leading by 1-0 against Hendon on non-league day. They scored from a corner within the first 4 minutes. They've got one now. Hammond swings it in. Strange is up there again. He heads it into the back of the defender, tightly marking him. And Horsham get themselves a corner now on the other side. This is where they scored the corner from. Will be a Sparks delivery rather than Hammond's. But Horsham have had so many opportunities to get a second in this game. They won the last meeting between these two by 4-0. They were 2 up in half-time in that one, as Meekums has just jogged over to be the short option on the corner. Hammond's completely unmarked, and I wouldn't be surprised if Sparks maybe looks for him on the corner. He hasn't. He's gone near post, and he's not beaten the first man. It's headed away to the edge of the area where it has dropped for Hammond, and he clips it wide for Harding, left side of the penalty area. Harding slips over the ball, and he's been dispossessed from behind, and now forward go Hendon. It's a surging run from Gordon over the halfway line. There's quite a bit of room to work with on this left wing for Talla, who's got away from Barker to put an effort in on goal, and all Meekums can do is volley the ball out for a throw-in, because Harding, from where he was tackled, he's only just now getting back into his defensive position. Kawimbe for Hendon. Exchanges a 1-2 with Bainey, and now Gordon gets away from Hammond, clips it into Muir on the left side. Muir, edge of the penalty area, cross it in, flicked on by Bainey, and all that can be done with by the Horsham defence. Harding with a diving header has to nod it behind for a corner, and only a minute and 40 seconds after they had 2 corners in quick succession. Horsham have now got to defend one. 3 minutes left of the first half, regular time. Horsham 1, Hendon 0, but Horsham have to defend this corner.
Yeah, Hendon are pushing now. A few minutes to go until half time, but as I said earlier, they're not out of this game by no means.
Gordon placing the ball down in the quadrant. All but 3 of those black and white shirts have entered the Horsham penalty area. Gordon swings in his delivery, but the referee has stopped play as soon as Gordon kicked that ball. So, for a bit of pushing and shoving there in the penalty area, and he will just go back and restart play with the Hendon corner, which again Gordon will stand over, swings it towards the far post. Carey punches it away, and it drops for Illich. His effort is blocked by Strange. Horsham may have a counter on here, because Meekums is looking to burst away from Halsey, and he's got there, but he looks to flick it beyond him, and it's cut out. Harding loses the ball, but Meekums wins it back on the right channel. His curling ball in search of Ajakai, cut out behind for a throw-in. 2 minutes left of the first half. Horsham 1, Hendon 0, but we feel that Horsham, the passes that they were playing down that far side earlier on in the game, they had they had so much joy with it. It was always going right for them, but since the 25th minute they've not got it right, as Ajakai finds Dixon. Back to Ajakai, right side of the area! Ajakai looked to lift it over the keeper. He got the lift on it, but he couldn't get the right placement. It ended up dropping wide and went across the face of goal. The ball...
Bit of head tennis here.
Really is head tennis. Rodriguez brings it down. Central position, but he wasn't alert to Bainey behind him. There was no shouts of man on, in all fairness to the Horsham midfielder. And Hendon just win back possession calmly, deep in their own half. Just over a minute to go of regular time in this first half. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. Horsham went 1-0 up within the first 4 minutes. You felt as if they'd go on and they'd keep scoring and scoring, but that's not really been the story. They've certainly had the opportunities to get a second goal, but they just can't seem to kill it off. That just the final pass or the final action of an attacking phase, they just cannot seem to make it work for them. As Sparks launches it down the left for Dixon, hot on the heels of Crokin, couldn't get the ball off him. And it's back with Salomon, the Hendon keeper, and will roll it forward to Crokin, venturing towards the halfway line. Gordon turns away from Hammond. Gordon infield for Illich, who's away from his marker. Illich turns it onto his left foot, lays it back for Bainey, played for Talla, central position. It does find Gordon, who clips it into the penalty area. Philpott able to clear it away, up to Harding, who finds Dixon. Lovely touch, back to Rodriguez, and he plays it through to Meekums, who's burst through. Meekums into the penalty area, he shoots early, and he puts it wide of the post. As Meekums there, perhaps shot a little bit too early on the edge of the area.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting closed down very quickly. He's getting forced out wider and wider and wider. Has to take it before he gets closed down and blocks. So, done the best he can. It's just dribbled and dragged wide, unfortunately.
As we're into added time of the first half. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. As the Hornets took an early lead within the first 4 minutes. We're going to have 2 minutes of added time. Feels as if that we should certainly have a bit more than that, really, given that long stoppage of the injury of Curry. But it's only the 2 that have been added on here in West Sussex, as there's been a massive goal elsewhere. Wingate 2-1 up now against Billericay Town. So Dartford go top of the league, as Cray Valley have got a goal back against Lewis. The scoreline still 1-0 here. Horsham now only sitting 4 points off top of the table, as Dartford are winning against Bognor. Crokin, the Hendon centre half for the meantime, hooks it long into Horsham's area, but Carey deals with it, catches it, as we've only got 35 seconds left of added time in this first half. Harding, Horsham's fullback, in possession. Horsham leading Hendon by 1-0. Carey goes long, Crokin able to nod that one out, and it drops behind for the Horsham throw-in. You think this will probably be the last action of this first half, with only 10 seconds left of added time here in West Sussex. Horsham 1, Hendon 0, as Harding launches his throw down the byline. Harding cutting it out. Here's Rodriguez. He's dispossessed by Halsey, and that's half-time at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. The goal from Jack Strange within the first 4 minutes is the difference here in West Sussex. It was a Sparks corner which was crossed in from the right-hand side. It found the head of a Hendon man, who could only flick it right into the shoulder of Strange, and then that diverted into the back of the net. Horsham have certainly had so many opportunities to get a second goal. They haven't taken them so far, but at half-time, all that matters in a Horsham perspective is that they are leading in the game. Half-time at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium. It's Horsham 1, Hendon 0, and really a very controlling half by the Hornets, but that just final touch, that little last bit of the attacking phase, if only they could get it right. If they did, they'd be probably leading by at least, you would think, 3 or 4 goals to 0 at the half-time interval. But a very promising half from them, and they are really looking at like the side that are well higher up in the league table than their opponents this afternoon.
Yeah, it's a strong first half for sure. Hendon started very, very sloppily, but have very much come into the game now and have given a good account of themselves. But moving into the half-time break, I'm sure Dom DePaola likes to keep his players grounded, in the sense that he'll let them know it's only 1 goal in it at the minute. It should be a couple more, 3 if anything. But also from a Hendon perspective, from his manager's point of view, he'll be letting his boys know they're still in the game. They've shown some bright spells. They can put up a good fight against ourselves here. Still 1-0, so there's still plenty to play for.
There certainly is, and warm welcome to anyone watching here on your instant replay. But you didn't expect to see the commentators' faces, did you? We've certainly got faces for radio, but hello to you all watching on YouTube. But what you mentioned there, Benji, certainly Hendon, they are still right in this game. You feel that the midfield areas are where they've been really strong, especially, as you mentioned, Talla, even Gordon, who is always dropping deep. He's winning the ball. He's looking to venture into those attacking positions within this game. He's been very impressive at breaking the lines and surging forward. And do you feel maybe Horsham could use maybe a change in midfield at half time? They have Brivio and Adjumang to use it if they so wish, but is there maybe another body needed just to maybe calm it down, just settle down the pace of the game maybe?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Obviously, Hendon's number 8 playing very well. After sort of a 10-minute rough spell they had at the start of the game, their number 8, as you mentioned through commentary, has played for QPR at youth level, and you can see that. Very composed in the ball. He's getting his team, rallying his players up for it, trying to get them up for it. Very composed in the ball, spraying past left and right, playing the ball right down to the right hand side of Illich. On the right, had a good attempt at Carey, good save from Carey though, nonetheless. So he's been a standout player for Hendon after a sort of rough start to the game. I mean, looking from our point of view, I feel like Danny Barker and James Hammond have done quite well. They tend to be the two sitting when we're pressing. However, as you mentioned, Montu Adjumang has had a fantastic season so far. Obviously, sometimes making appearances from the bench, sometimes starting. But I mean, you've seen more of Adjumang what I have so far season, Freddie. What could he bring coming into this half if Don was to opt to bring him in?
I think really what he would bring is he can screen the back four, but even when Horsham are in possession and they chuck the wing backs forward, I think that's what Adjumang allows this team to do, is have that bit more width, which I've already seen in this first half, in all fairness to Horsham, and the game plan from Dom DePaolo. The wide areas have been so key for them in this game. They've had so many opportunities, but what Adjumang can even bring, he can drop deep and link up play, try to break the lines with through passes from midfield and play through the midfield and defensive lines for Hendon, which, as you mentioned, really, it's not been an issue for Horsham whatsoever. We've seen it even at the end of that half where Hammond picked up the ball in a central position, could have slotted it through because it was 2-on-2. We've seen it in the wider areas as well, where Ajakai, especially where Curry was, it's now Halsey who has swapped over since Kawimbe came on. Horsham have just had so much joy in wide areas. Adjumang maybe can bring them that more so that they can play centrally and break through the lines rather than use width to then create opportunities. They can play it just simple, almost route one if you will, but not up in the air, just along the ground, playing it through the lines and carving out opportunities. That's really what he brings. But you even look at the other men on the bench just to our left. If Horsham need firepower up front, Ogun Mamade's on the bench, 9 goals this season, has been an electric player for Horsham. Fenelon's on there, only 3 goals this season, not been as a bigger one as he had sort of this time last campaign, but the attacking options are there if Horsham need them, certainly. Maybe not just yet, but if they don't start to finish off these opportunities, as the age-old saying goes, if you don't take them, you will be punished.
Exactly. I've been really surprised by our star man from last season, Daniel Ajakai. You mentioned he's not scored a goal since August, and to be honest, from his first one, I can kind of tell why. He's getting into good areas on the right-hand side, in behind Curry when he was still on the pitch, but once he's getting the ball, he's kind of struggling to pick out a pass or pick out a shot. Just from a stroke of half-time, he had a chance to dink the keeper, which he did, but he dinked it wide of him, so it didn't go out for a goal kick. The defender just picked up and played on. It's been a bit, I don't know if it's rust, he's not playing as much due to the competition and attack. Obviously we've got, as you mentioned, on the bench warming up currently, Ogumamade, who's very good coming in from that left flank, cutting inside. He's excellent at that. That is his bread and butter. So maybe Don may look to replace Ajakai with Ogumamade, or again, as you mentioned, Shamir Fenelon is an option as more of a target striker. But Chris Dixon has done well holding the ball up. Also, with Chris Dixon, he's drifted out wide quite a lot on the left-hand side. So he's found that sort of pocket of space in between the full-back and centre-half. He tried putting a few balls into the box, but they've not always found our men in the box, unfortunately. I've not really seen enough of Miles Meekums. I know he's had a fantastic season, but compared to what he has done this season, I've not really seen that kind of cutting edge or creativity from himself. As I was saying, it's been more Dixon on the left-hand side, not Meekums, where he has been playing for the game.
No, certainly. It has been Dixon who has been venturing over to that left wing, providing more width for the Hornets, but he's just so good at it. We say every game at 40 years old just how good of a player Chris Dixon is. He breaks through the lines and does he's done what he is always doing in this game so far, just venturing wide, creating that opportunity for then Meekums maybe to then run in field and then be in that central position for a cut back across the box, or maybe Ajakai can sprint in, make an infield run from the right into the centre. It just allows so much more different attacking opportunities for the Hornets. Just a bit more creativity is what Dixon has been bringing in this game, albeit they've not got that second goal yet. But if they are reading the scorelines at half-time in that dressing room, I doubt they are, because they've got to focus on their own game. We will bring those to you just in a second with the rest of the top of the league and the Isthmian League table. But
Yeah, let's go through those half-time scores, Fred. I'll present you what we've got in front of ourselves.
Let's go through it for all those watching at home. So, as we currently know, Dartford are winning by a goal to nil, so they sit top of the table. They're on 73 points with 36 games played. Billericay Town are losing 2-1 against Wingate and Finchley. They're down to 72 points. So Horsham are now only 4 points off top of the table, winning 1-0 against Hendon. Cray Valley are 2-1 down against Lewis. That means they're fourth on 65. Dover, who really need a win to put themselves, just to have that bit more confidence in themselves in the playoff places, given their slumping form since the start of the new year. They're winning by a goal to nil, so they're 2 points ahead of Chichester City, who are on 61. Dover are on 63. Chichester, newly promoted, a team who Horsham beat here 6-0 last season in the Sussex Senior Cup, and now they're 6th in the table. It's amazing, and Chichester just doing so well for themselves. Carshalton are down to 7th because they're 1-0 down, but they're on 58 points. So you look at the gap between 5th and 7th, a bit of a 3-horse race for that final playoff spot. Carshalton on 58, so they've just dropped off a little bit. They're now 5 points off 5th, but with only 6 games to go after today. We mentioned before kickoff, anything can happen. In 2 weeks' time, you could be right back into the right position. For Horsham, in 2 weeks' time, if results again go their way, they'll be top of the table.
That's what I was saying. I mean, at the start of the day, we were 6 points off top. Now at half-time stage of today's fixtures, albeit not full-time, of course, just half-time, but we're only 4 points off now. So as I was saying, game week by game week, albeit not a lot left, we can still make progress and potentially push for that league title.
Well, we really do hope so. It would be the most amazing of finishes. Who knows, on that last day of the season, 26th of April, Horsham hosting #United, that would just be sublime. You always hope that, of course, you want your team to have it wrapped up. You don't want to have those nervous moments and checking scores of everyone else along with your own for 90 minutes. But to have it done in that fashion, well, there is no better way. I do wonder how the Isthmian League would go about that. Where would the trophy be kept? Where would they be looking to go? They may have to go to Dartford. They may have to go to Billericay. They may have to come here. Where do you keep that trophy? It'll be like Celtic and Rangers on that helicopter Sunday a couple of years back.
Yeah, I have no idea. Might have to create a sort of a replica one potentially to dish out to a winner. But yeah, no idea in that regard. But one thing I do want to mention, on the course, it is non-league day, so thanks very much, guys, for obviously watching today's live stream. And also thank you to everyone else that has made a trip down today to the Hoppos to watch this game. And also to anyone else at your local non-league club. That is what today is all about. I'm not sure you can see behind us on the camera, obviously the attendance today, I'm not quite sure on that figure, but I do probably expect well above 1,500 here, which is incredible for a step-free side of non-league. I mean, that just goes credit to the club itself. The setup you've got here at Horsham is first class, really, albeit a part-time club, but it's got very, very good facilities here. And also shows, I mean, everyone's here loving their football, loving sort of the social aspect, the friendly atmosphere, the family atmosphere. No matter who you are, where you come from, what team you're supporting, everyone's welcome, aren't they?
They are. And again, as Benji said, I completely echo those thoughts. Happy non-league day to you all. Everyone who's sat at home watching us talk about the game or has watched the entire stream. Maybe you're just joining now, but thank you ever so much for watching it and being a part of this live stream on the Your Instant Replay YouTube channel and the Hornets TV channel, courtesy of Your Instant Replay. It's great as well to have that platform, to have these opportunities like this, bring a game to so many people who maybe don't know who Horsham are, they don't know who Hendon are, they just feel like watching some football. So it's great to have this platform to be able to bring a game to everyone, and a massive thank you to them certainly for being able to do this and giving us opportunities where we were, well, the pair of us, sorry if this feels like a sob story to you all watching, but 3 years ago we were university students. Here we are, we stood behind a camera on a live YouTube stream. Crazy how life works. Exactly. And obviously that's all thanks to Horsham here. Fantastic setup as it is. Also, Freddie, of course, you were at the game midweek against Brighton, actually. So tell us a bit about that game. That was it was an interesting game because it felt at times that it was the same 2-minute period on loop. The ball was just in Brighton's defensive third with their centre-halves. They were happy just to knock it around. But Horsham weren't succumbing to that. You see Brighton's senior team, which is probably what the youngsters were taught. Just keep the ball, invite the striker to press you, and then just play it into that empty space. A teammate will make the run, play it there, and then It just felt like that was the whole game. And Horsham weren't succumbing to it. They knew exactly what they had to do. They stuck to their game plan, and when they got all their attacking opportunities came from Brighton mistakes, loose passes, pouncing on loose balls, and then the goal comes from exactly that. The Brighton man, I believe it was Aidan West, the youngster, who brought it down. Harding right on him, steals it. Rodriguez, quick ball to Ogun Mamade, sprints down the line, cut back. There was Rodriguez, right place, right time. It was a beautifully executed goal that was so simplistic, you felt, against a team who were almost trying to not really overcomplicate their play, but just trying, almost in a way, trying too hard to stick to what they were being coached. They weren't really sort of given maybe that sense of freedom of just being told, look, this is your game plan, or by all means stick to it, but if you have to be different, you have to do different things to unlock the Horsham midfield and defence, do what you need to do. You're all really talented players, but it just felt it was a weird game because it was really entertaining, but at the same time it was just a bit repetitive.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that means once again another cup final at the Amex. That is huge. I mean, last year we were both there, Freddie, 3-0 against Hastings, lifted the trophy as well. I mean, could we do it back to back?
I really do think so. Littlehampton aside, who are league below Horsham, they're struggling in the division as well. They're only, I think it's 1 or 2 places above the relegation zone, so they're really not having a good season, are Littlehampton. But as you said earlier in this broadcast, you know, anything can happen in football as the teams have come back out, and we'll see what happens in this second half. Horsham leading Hendon by 1-0. The Hendon players all back out, ready to go. The Horsham ones out as well. But for that Sussex Senior Cup, I think Horsham have got a very good chance.
Exactly. Let's go for a double, guys. Come on.
Here we go, second half ready to be underway here on Radio Lard and on the Hornets TV YouTube channel. There's a message here from a Hendon fan who's listening. A warm welcome to you and thank you for tuning in. 19 games without a win, that was since their manager Lee Allenson left. He was poached by Hemel Hempstead, and he said he took their best 3 players, even says, great commentary lads, come on the Hendon. I very much thank you for the first bit. The second bit, unfortunately, because it's on a Horsham channel, I have to disagree with you, I'm afraid. But a big thank you to listening in and tuning in. As well, the Player of the Season votes have now gone live. If you're in the ground and listening, you could submit a paper slip that were printed out today, or you can email the club with your first and second choice, is how the Hornet gives us another wave. Well, Benji, I know you've only really been here for 4 games this season, as you're just watching back the live stream with us in there. It's crazy to think that we've just been broadcast to all the people watching us, and still, thank you all for watching. But Player of the Season votes, even in the comments, we've had some people on here listening in from Cape Town and Thailand. One of the comments on the YouTube stream, they're listening in, or watching in rather, from Singapore. So we're still global, which makes it all the more crazy, really. But second half ready to be underway at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. The goal from Jack Strange is the difference so far. That came within the first 4 minutes, but Horsham haven't been able to double their lead just yet. Can they do it in the second half? We're now about to find out. Referee Thomas Copping blows his whistle as Bainey, a little bit too eager. He just sprinted right into the Horsham half. He goes back into his own one, and away we go again in West Sussex on non-league day. Horsham looked to go direct from their kick-off. The ball was played back to their captain Hammond, but his long ball is right out of play for a Hendon throw, as all the Lardy Army flags, they've been set up behind that goal to our right. As Hendon play the throw in long down this near side. Dixon rolls the ball under his studs. It's come off the Hendon man last and will be a Horsham throw. Still, huge credit to those Hendon fans who have now taken up the Octatec stand to our left. There's 6 of them right up the back of the stand with 2 flags put up. They're singing away, cheering on their team. What looks to be, as it stands, will be 20 matches without a win, but full credit to them, especially considering their side haven't won away all season. Here's Rodriguez, right side of the penalty area, but his cross is mishit. Strange volleys it right back up into the 18-yard box. It's headed behind by Halsey and will be a Horsham throw. A minute played of the second half. Looking bright from the start, but just unable really to keep the ball on the surface as Harding clips it in, looking for Dixon. Sterling heads it behind. Halsey lets it run, and it will be a Horsham corner. They scored from one within the first 4 minutes of the first half. We've only played 90 seconds of the second half. Well, they get another one from a set piece. They're causing issues early on in the half. They're not letting up or sitting off with their 1-goal lead, as Hammond's come over as the short option and Sparks gives it to him. Hammond crosses it in, dangerous ball. Barker with the flick on, couldn't find a man in a yellow and green shirt, drops behind for the Hendon goal kick. But again, Horsham looking sharp after the interval, but again, it's that final touch that just evades them. They still lead though by 1-0, 2 minutes gone of the second half.
It looks like the same sort of setup for Horsham. When pressing, as I mentioned, you've got Rodriguez and Dixon leading the line. Ajakai on the right flank, Meekham's on the left. Hammond and Barker sitting as the double pivots. Same back four and same goalkeeper, of course. The same sort of setup. Let's hope Ajakai and also Meekham's can be more potent on those wings.
It almost looks like here on this up that you would say offside position, but of course you can't be offside from goal kicks, as Harding does well to flick it into Rodriguez. Lovely through pass to Ajakai. Maybe it's just over here. Ajakai keeps it in play, pulls it across the area, cleared away by Hendon. Harding for Horsham picks up possession, but his curled pass to the edge of the 18-yard box cut out by Gordon, the Hendon midfielder, and Horsham have to play the ball all the way back to their goalkeeper Carey, who will boot it long out to Meekham's on the left wing. It's a heavy touch from Meekham's, pounced on by Enokie Boadi, who ventures forward. Barker able to cut it out. Meekham's will play it infield to Dixon, who on his touch flicks it up and volleys it over.
Ref, where's that foul?
Yeah, Dixon has gone down. He's hot. He's in real discomfort, is Dixon. He's holding his knee. The referee he's pretty much stood within 5 yards of him, and now he does look down at Dixon and he will stop the play after it. But you saw there Dixon straight away after the clash went down holding his right knee. Almost looks as if for even here you can see the wince on his face as the physio, and you feel as if, well, we discussed it at half time that Horsham had forward options to bring on. Maybe they will have to bring on Shamir Fenlon only 4 minutes into the second half due to injury.
Yeah, it's poor from Hendon fans, let them die. I mean, if I wasn't on air, the response I give back to them.
Yeah, that's very, very poor, must be said. We have been full of praise for the Hendon fans, but after that, you know, it's just a little bit distasteful. But Dixon is laying flat on his back here. We have seen that Fenelon has been sent out to warm up, as has Ogunwamade, but Fenelon has got his shorts and socks on, as it's 1,577 the official attendance today. Brilliant for any game, let alone on non-league day. That's 2 games in a row almost where Horsham have had 1,500 or over at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium. Just brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty accurate my estimation, weren't I? I said 1,500, 1,577 exactly. Can't knock that. And that's not including us here as well, so add a couple more onto that. There you go.
Yeah, it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic from the crowd that have come out here today in West Sussex. Dixon is back up to his feet. He just stretching out that right leg. It doesn't look too uncomfortable from where we are. Play will restart with a Hendon drop ball. Horsham will have 10 on the pitch. Dixon gets a warm applause there from those fans in the main stand. 50.5 minutes gone. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. Dixon now just jumping on one leg and then the other. He re-enters play as Philpott nods it away in the Horsham defensive line. It does almost drop for Dixon, who completely missed the ball with his attempt at a volleyed pass. Crokin making himself available. Plays it to this near side for Illich, who has Ajakai for company. He's back with the Hendon goalkeeper Salomon in his own 18-yard box. Now rolls it short for his centre half Crokin. Hendon just enjoying this spell of possession here in their defensive third. It's with Muir, their captain, as Barker does well to step in and win the ball. Ajakai takes over into Barker. Really neat play by Horsham to work out of that Hendon press. They've kept the ball. It's back with their goalkeeper Carey, who launches it up to the halfway line, where Gordon, the Hendon midfielder, just tests it down. He finds Muir, who's away from Hammond, plays the reverse pass. Here's Enoke Boadi, left side of the penalty area. Bainey looks to play it through to Illich, but Horsham are able just to deal with it, and Rodriguez launches it through, and Dixon he's not happy with the pass from Rodriguez, who now pushes over Gordon from behind. Foul is given, and they just exchange a pat on the back and a handshake, as Dixon there, he's still really not happy with that pass from Rodriguez, is he? As play continues, and Hendon are in, left side of the penalty area. Illich pulls it across, and Philpott can only clear it behind. Strange diverted it to make sure it went out for the corner, but Horsham there, almost architects of their own downfall.
Yeah, it means they need to get their heads, so they're too busy faffing about with each other, let alone looking at the Hendon players. They've got in quite comfortably down the left-hand side, forcing a corner now, so piling in the pressure here.
52.5 minutes gone at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. Hendon with a set piece. Gordon's corner right at the head of Harding. Kawimbe puts it back into the 18-yard box. Horsham clear, and Meekums has done well to get to the ball first, but Illich was there ahead of him. And Meekums could only just stub the ball into the surface, and it goes behind for the Hendon throw-in, who again just keep possession amongst their defensive third. It's with Kawimbe playing it infield for Gordon to the right of the halfway line. Really neat turn from Gordon. He gives it to Crokin, playing it wide for Halsey. First time pass, Strange misread that one as Muir was running in behind him, but luckily for Strange, Carey was there to spare his blushes, ran out, picked up the ball, and was able to deal with it.
A little bit too close for comfort, that, didn't the old Gary Neville? Ooh, that was close, wasn't far off.
Certainly wasn't. Hendon really have grown into this one, especially since we started the second half. They had a bit of a nervy start, but they're creating opportunities as Sparks hooks it long down the left channel, looking for Dixon, who is there ahead of Sterling. Dixon just can't get to the second ball. Sterling holds him off and boots it forward. Hammond with an accidental pass to Rodriguez, who gives the ball away. It's back with Crokin, the Hendon centre half. Rodriguez right on him, tried to get the ball, and Rodriguez almost gets it off Crokin, but Rodriguez is deemed a bit too eager by the referee, who pulls it back and will give the free kick in Hendon's favour. As Crokin looks to break the lines, rolling it through to Gordon. It's with Halsey now for Hendon. 54.5 minutes gone. Horsham 1, Hendon 0 at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium. Here's
too
Gordon.
Easy, that.
Ventures forward, Gordon, to the edge of the penalty area. He's now in the area to the left of goal. He's almost put himself off balance. He rolls it back for Illich, right on the byline, on the right side, as Hammond has cut out the pass from Talla, and he knocks it through, but he just can't reach Dixon. It was into the head of Crokin, and Dixon there again, just almost cocking his head back in frustration. He knows that the ideas are there, but the passes just can't seem to find the Horsham front man. As up go Hendon, Illich lets it run. It almost fell for Gordon, who thought about making the run down that right side of the penalty area to get to the ball. He ended up leaving it, much to Carey's fortune.
Yeah, Montel Ackman's been called back now, so looks like get stripped off and ready to go. Change, don't know who'll be coming off, but looks like he's getting ready.
Maybe just to bring a bit more control to the game. Horsham certainly have been a bit shaky in this second half. 55.5 minutes gone. They still lead by a goal to nil. But Hendon are starting to grow into this one. As Rodriguez does well to hold the ball and clip it long. Ajakai doesn't get on the end of it. Dixon went up trying to challenge. It drops behind for the Horsham throw. As we still await the introduction of Ajamang. Horsham restart with the throw-in. Barker picking up possession. It's played back to Philpott. Now with Sparks on the left side. Meekham's coming deep into his own half to receive the ball. And Horsham, even though they've got possession in their defensive third, they're inviting a lot of pressure. Strange hooks it long, and Ajikai's got away from Halsey, right side of the penalty area, but again he just can't get his cross right. Ajikai had so much time, he's still got the ball. Ajikai, on he goes, cuts it onto his right, but he's dispossessed on the edge of the box, and it's hooked away by the Hendon defence. But again, Ajikai, so much room to deal with it, as there was a nervy moment for Philpott there, but Horsham have dealt with it. Volleyed away by Sparks, drops for Gordon, who now ventures into the Horsham half, the Hendon midfielder, and on he goes. Gordon can't get it away from Barker, who's won the ball back, and Barker now just has to hold in possession, give it to Harding, who's done well to keep possession on the right flank. Ajikai tackled from behind by Halsey, drops behind for the throw-in. The Hendon man has dropped down onto his back. It's Crokin who's gone down, and the physio's called onto the pitch. But back to that chance for Ajikai, acre to space in the penalty area, but again, it's been a really unfortunate afternoon for him. Just couldn't get the cross right.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Decision making from Ajikai, it's not what I was used to of last season. He's get down in a good position on the right hand side. There was a clear cut back, I can't quite think who it was now on the cut back, but tried putting it across the goal instead, and spin easily blocks, and the chance goes begging. But I don't know what it is. There's just holes in midfield. When they get past Rodriguez and past the front line, there's holes. I'm not quite sure if Hammond's and Barker's communication's on point between the pair of them. But it looks like the reason Adjaman will be coming on would be to plug that gap. But I'm just not quite sure who will be coming on for. Maybe Hammond, maybe Barker, maybe even Lucas. I'm not quite sure.
Could be any of those midfield three. You'd think maybe with the similarities of Barker and Adjaman it'd be like for like, but it isn't going to be that. Rodriguez is going to come off. He was the hero on Tuesday night, couldn't get on the score sheet this afternoon, but off goes Lucas Rodriguez with a little over 58 minutes on the clock at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium. But Rodriguez substituted off, and we're going to see Montel Adjamang join the play as he just jogs onto the pitch with that taped wrist. But it's interesting now, it looks like maybe Adjamang is going to screen the back four, which may allow Barker just to venture that little bit further forward in midfield. So even though it looks as if Horsham have got sort of two defensive-minded midfielders in Barker and Adjamang on the pitch, straight away Barker was in the ear of Adjamang, just told him, look, you go a little bit deeper, sit in front of the back line like you do, and I'll venture a bit further forward.
Yeah, that's some content for his vlog now, isn't he? So that's a bonus at least. But yeah, I reckon his job would be screen that back line. Probably Barker's sitting pretty much alongside him, I would imagine, although he looks a bit further ahead of the ball right now. But Hammond, the most advanced midfielder, you've got to create a sort of spark that can lead to a goal. So yeah, I think definitely Adjamang sitting the deepest of the three.
59 minutes gone. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. As Dixon cuts out the clearance, he flicks it up in the air looking for Ajikai. It's headed away. Harding going up, but Halsey gets to the second ball. Philpott nods it away. Here's Dixon chesting it down, but he can't get his touch right, and you may have heard there he was very unhappy with it, Chris Dixon, if I'm going to put it nicely, rather, with his pass. Even though he's 40 years old, he still very much has an eye for perfection in his game, and that one there, he's unlucky, if we'll say so, and he knew.
Do you want to repeat what you said?
No, because I'll probably get pulled off air as play continues. Hendon in their own defensive third, 60 minutes on the clock. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. That's been the scoreline since the 4th minute of the game, through a Jack Strange goal, as Hammond has done well to get the ball back. He clips it forward to Meekums on the left wing. Meekums in the penalty area, pulled across, it did reach Ajikai, cleared only as far as Meekums in the 18-yard box. Hammond on the edge of the area, ventures in, left-footed shot, deflects wide of the post, and that'll be a Horsham corner. But again, the idea's there, they break through, but the final touch again just evades the Hornets.
Yeah, again, Meekham's down my left now, putting a ball into Ajikai. It looks like it was just behind him to allow a defender to clear us out. Then falls to Hammond, eventually drives a shot on his left foot, gets a little deflection so it goes out for a corner. But again, getting good positions, but just not really having that clinical edge as the Hendon fans have arrived now.
Yeah, they let the Lardy Army know that they forgot they were here. 61 minutes on the clock. Horsham corner, Hammond swings it in, up goes the header! Oh, it looked, well, some fans thought that was in because they saw the net ripple, but that was because the goalkeeper Salomon had jumped up and rippled his own net. It dropped just over the bar. It was Philpott who got up and got on the end of the corner, but he can't find the net.
I thought that was in.
You're not the only one. So many fans behind that goal thought that was in. You heard the cheers from a few of the Horsham fans, but it was just as Salomon had jumped up.
It must be a hole in the goal.
Well, his hand clipped the net behind him as he dived, and as the ball just went over, that maybe is why it gave the impression it went in. But Philpott, who scored against Hendon in the reverse fixture of this game, he thought he had his 4th goal of the season, and he saw it go over the bar. 62 minutes gone, Horsham 1, Hendon 0, as Bainey clips the leg of Harding, who now will just stop play and just wait for the restart with this free kick. As straight away you can just see Ajamang, he's right in front of the back four, and he's clearly, that's the message, just stay that little bit deeper, be the man who can just help break through the lines, as Hendon are getting a substitute ready below.
Yeah, he's got to shut the way around.
Oh yeah, he does. As they're getting ready to bring on Seri. Forward go Horsham with Meekums on the left wing. He's away from Gordon, plays it into Dixon, 25 yards from goal. Hammond, lovely through pass. Meekums onside, or rather the flag now does go up after Meekums was dispossessed. Sterling will play it quickly. As Hendon now look to break forward. Gordon pushed over by Barker, free kick given, and now Hendon can make that change as they are going to bring on Leo Seri, the January signing from Harrow Borough. He started the game against Billericay last weekend, was dropped to the bench today. On he comes, and they're going to take off Illich, who was the man who took his place in the starting 11 at the start of the afternoon for this game. But it's Horsham 1, Hendon 0. But again, you just feel Hendon, they're really starting to continue to grow into this game. They've been a lot stronger in the second half. They've been a lot more lively, but they just are still unable to carve out a goal scoring opportunity. As Strange, he gets that clearance completely wrong. Sparks is able to get on the end of that one and put it behind for the throw-in.
Yeah, you covered that well. That was slicing out for a corner, hooks it back out just for a throw-in, so made good of a poor sort of slicer.
Nearly 64 minutes gone. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. Hammond having to again just clear the ball for Horsham, but really well done by Barker, who kept it in play. But he's dispossessed. Gordon for Hendon boots it long. He's got the ball back as Horsham can't clear it fully. Barker does really well to get it back off Kawimbe. Sparks releases the ball down the left wing. Dixon, really good touch, and the second and third aren't bad either, but he's deemed to be in an offside position, and he just looks at the referee and just throws his arms up in the air. Of course, the sort of newer rule with offsides, when they're in attacking phases, you have to wait for it to fully come to an end and then bring it back for the free kick. So you feel Dixon's frustration there, but even more, and I guess a more frustrating theme for him. That's one of the only long balls in the second half that he's been able to fully get a touch on and actually bring down. This second half, it's been a lot more of an open game since the start of the second 45. It's still Horsham 1, Hendon 0 with 65 minutes on the clock as Horsham go to the left wing with their goal kick. Sparks just lets it drop behind him, and it'll be a Horsham throw. But the Hornets here, albeit they've not really come under massive pressure. Carey's not had to do all too much in the second half, Horsham's keeper, but still only a goal to nil, and one goal completely changes the complexion of the game, and that's for either side.
Oh, definitely, as like most goals, but for this game, the next goal is huge. Hendon get it, of course, a level then pushing momentum. If he get it, then it could be the game set and match. We'll have to wait and see.
Ajamang just controlling the pace of the game, rolls it to Harding. It's back with Horsham's goalkeeper Carey in his own 18-yard box, plays it forward to Ajamang, who just dropped into that extra centre-half position to make himself available. Strange playing it forward to Hammond, who rolls the ball under his studs, and he might set away Ajakayi. Oh, the referee brought it back.
He's bottled that.
It's an interesting one from the referee, Thomas Copping, as Ajakai was the man who had been sent forward. The ball did find Ajakai, but Dixon had brought down the man with him. That's why the referee's given the foul, but obvious disagreements.
The defenders risked that by going down. The referee's bought that. Been sold a dream. Disgraceful.
As the ball will now drop into the gloves of Horsham's keeper, Carey. And he just tells his teammates to calm down. Let's just slow down the pace of the game. He exchanges passes with Strange. It's now clipped left for Sparks, who's done well to cut out the loose touch from Seri. Now Philpott will play it back to Carey. Who again will go long, looking for Meekums. Hammond does well to win the ball back, and now Hammond finds Meekums to the left of goal. Meekums bearing down into the area, pulled across. Again, it is intercepted by a white and black shirt. Horsham just cannot get that final cross right, as Meekums still with the ball. He's been scythed down by Kawimbi, but the referee, he's noticed the linesman got his flag up because the ball, I think the ball's gone out of, may have got out of play before that. The linesman has put his flag up to award, I believe it is a Hendon throw. Yeah, the ball had got out before Meekums was fouled, so the referee goes back and gives the throw in, and now Hendon may take advantage of that as Muir clips it to the right wing for Halsey up against Harding, the Hendon fullback. He plays the ball back to Crokin in his own half, who will clip it diagonally for Gordon Cotton.
Also, let's rewind again. Probably that's one of the biggest chances of the game, and there's a lot to go by now. Meekham's on the left. He's got 3 men to pick out in the box. Cuts it back, but too deep. Yeah, chance missed. Cuts it back. Hendon defender gets on the end of it, clears it away, and then what followed was, well, I had no idea really. Throwing apparently.
The ball had already got out of play after that, but it's just been the story of the afternoon. It's almost been the same situation, just repeated whenever Horsham get forward. They play the ball into the wide areas, the cross comes in, but it's right at a white and black shirt.
I've seen this game too many times. You know how this sort of game goes. You go 1-0 up, plenty of chances to finish it off, and yeah, you know the rest.
Yeah, you certainly do. We said at half-time, if you don't take your chances, you get punished. Horsham yet to be punished. They're a goal up, 68.5 minutes on the clock. As Barker is brought down, Horsham will be given a free kick in their favour. Just see a few more of the Horsham substitutes warming up. Fenelon, Brivio and Elliott are getting ready to come on. As Horsham now will make a change, and they're going to bring on Ola Ogunwamade. Who are they going to take off though, as we await the linesman to come over and Jimmy Punter to punch the numbers into the board? It's going to be a like-for-like swap on the wing straight away before the board even went up. Ajakai comes over, off he goes. Ajakai, a really frustrating one, it has to be said, for him this afternoon. Had plenty of opportunities to set up teammates or get a goal himself. He was unable to. His wait for a league goal, the first league goal since the 24th of August, continues, but in his place Ogunwamade comes on, and maybe that can just bring a different dynamic to the Horsham attack.
Yeah, great player he is, Ola. Very direct, will get on the right, cut the ball across, looks to get his shots off on his left foot, whips into the far corner. That's sort of his bread and butter. And yeah, frustrating one for Ajakai, again, really surprised by himself this season. He's not been as potent or influential as last season, but again, a very, very well capable player coming on in this place.
Seri picks up the ball for Hendon. Strange pounces on it. Dixon just can't get on the end of it ahead of Sterling. Had got the better of the centre half, had Dixon, but couldn't steal the ball as Barker leaves one on Gordon. And again, a few disagreements from the Horsham players. It was a soft one at that.
Beautiful game's dying. What is that?
As play will restart with the Hendon free kick. 70.5 minutes gone. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. The ball clipped over to that left side where Ajamag has come over to deal with it. Barker wins the flick on. Dixon brings it down. Hammond now looks to clip it long, but that one is right into the back of a Hendon defender. Ogunwamade looks to be set away by Harding, but he slips in the turf. The ball drops back from the Hendon keeper, Salomon, and now forward they go. Tuller clipping it long. Strange able to head it away, only as far as Muir. Now off goes Anokie Bowady. on the right wing. He's away from Harding, cross into the area, is beyond everyone. Will drop behind. Drop behind for the goal kick, but Hammond there, he did look in a bit of discomfort after he looked to play his long ball in search of Ogunwamade just a few moments ago. Right after, you just saw a bit of a wince on his face. He was feeling his knee. He's gone down now, receiving treatment. He's taken off his shin pad straight away. Brivio has been called over. They're waiting to see if Hammond is all right, if he can continue or if he's got to go off. He's just talking about it with the physio. Just looks like it may be his groin that he's feeling, that he may have to go off. As Hendon are going to make a change, they're going to bring on Keegan Cole, the youngest Hendon player ever to reach 100 appearances for the club, and they're going to take off Bainey in midfield as Hammond has gone off receiving treatment, and he's going to go off. He's given the armband to Brivio, who's going to get his first Horsham appearance in a very long time.
I mean, Freddie, can I stop you there? What's that nonsense from non-14's socks? Putting a hole in like a cat's been on the socks.
It's like polka dots on the back of his socks.
Woke.
Well, whatever your opinions are of it, as Hammond has gone off for Brivio, so Horsham now have made 3 changes in the game, 2 of them in midfield. So Brivio, a warm welcome back from the Horsham fans to their captain. So he's going to play the final 17 and a half minutes of regular time and any added time as well. Horsham 1, Hendon 0, and you really do feel the next goal in this game may end up deciding the end result. The Sparks finds Meekham's lovely heel flick to find Ajamang. Long ball to Dixon. Is he onside? No, he's not. Dixon bearing down on goal. Flag up, whistle blown, and again, just a bit of disagreement from all the Horsham fans.
To be fair, I actually did agree with the linesman on that occasion. He did look a bit ahead of his last man, so he's been caught off quite a few times today, Dixon. Not quite sure if he's just maybe getting a bit too eager before the ball's played, or just not really reading the line. A few times now he's been called for offside.
Wouldn't be surprising if he's a bit eager, Dixon. He's not scored in 8 games in a yellow and green shirt. And he's Horsham's top scorer with 20 goals. His motto in football is that goals are never done, and that he wants to prove doubters wrong. Well, 8 games without a goal would be the perfect way to go and do it. As Horsham
in midfield
having
as well
to defend. Muir is dispossessed. Brivio, lovely through pass to Meekams, who has Ogunwamade to play it to, but Meekams will go it all alone. He's been pushed over by Talla. The referee hasn't given the foul, but you felt as if maybe that should have been a foul.
Firstly, Meekams, just look at Ola. He's making a great run. He's in acres of space. The whole picture on interview plays the pass out wide to the right, then tries to claim for a foul, and I thought it was a foul. Given this one at least, hey.
But I have to agree with you there. Why has Meekams not looked to play that through pass? Had Ogunwamade completely free over on this right wing, and the referee's now going to book Meekams for dissent and talking with the referee. But Meekams there, it's his own doing. He had 2 teammates to play the ball to. He looked to go it alone, gave the ball away, was deemed to have been a dive from the referee, who's now just going to resume play with a drop ball in.
I mean, I'm not sure why he shouldn't have played that ball. Maybe he didn't have his head up, or I don't know, but it's quite an obvious pass I felt at once, but didn't opt for it.
Horsham still leading by a goal to 0 with 15 minutes to go. As Strange clips it long, but Ogunwamade opted just to leave it and not go for the ball. But the game really now, you can feel Horsham
very scrappy.
They're losing. You argue Horsham are losing their heads a little bit here.
Yeah, losing their heads, losing the sort of connection, no sort of passes. Now I just saw a long ball kept by Strange into Ola's path. Ola wasn't even making a run. Goes back out to the goalkeeper.
Crokin, the Hendon centre half, his long ball is cut out. Sparks launches it forward. Dixon, this time the flag will stay down. He can't get away from Halsey, or can he? Dixon, right down the right hand side, finds Ogunwamade. He's still got Dixon there with him. Ogunwamade gives it away, and Ajamang couldn't get on the end of it. It was right into the possession of Talla, and now up go Hendon down the other end. Muir, in possession, Hendon's captain. Seri rolls it through. Harding just about gets it clear, as he had Enoke Bodie right on him. Meekham's now twisting and turning. This time he's brought down and the foul is given, and you feel Meekham's there looking at the referee, probably is saying, well, that's the exact same as the other one, why didn't you give a foul for that?
Yeah, he better watch himself. On a yellow already, he can't get booked again for dissent. That'd be horrendous if that was to be the case. So better keep his mouth quiet and just talking on the pitch.
14, well, a little under 14 minutes to go now at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium on non-league day. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. Horsham have had the lead for over 70 minutes in this game. They've had countless opportunities to score a second goal, but they've not been able to take any of them, as Carey's long ball is cut out by Crokin. Meekham's gets the ball off him. Now here is Dixon, lays it off to Brivio, central position, gives it to Ogunwamade, right side of the penalty area. His curling cross finds Dixon, just drops wide of the post from close range.
I mean, I thought Ola was going to shoot himself. Puts the ball right to the back post. I thought he was just going out for a goal kick. Then arrives Dixon, prods it towards the goal. I'm not sure how much accuracy or precision he did put on the ball, really, because it did then dribble wide, just a few inches by the post, but very, very close there. Best chance of his second half for ourselves.
Ajamang having to play the ball back to Strange. Neat 1-2 between those two. Here's Ajamang again, through pass to Barker, who's got there ahead of Sterling. Now with Meekham's, the Horsham wide man, infield. Plays it through to Dixon, who's lost the ball, and he's caught Crokin after that, so the referee will halt play and give a free kick. 12 and a half minutes to go of regular time. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. The game, it's very scrappy now.
Yeah, for that Meekham's head score, really, he can't make any sort of pass, or the pass he's doing is too late, or just not to that man. I don't know, since that sort of foul where he then got put for dissent, he's not been himself at all.
Salomon assessing his options, the Hendon keeper, from this free kick. The man in the red goalkeeper kit clips it long, where Strange has won the first ball. He hasn't won the second. Ajamang clears it away. Gordon almost set through Dixon with that diverted touch. It's played into Muir. Strange able to win it back. The ball cleared only as far as Talla. Muir back to Enoke Bodie. Curling it, just drops wide of the post. By far the closest Hendon have come to a goal in this game. And now Horsham will make a change. Dixon's going off for Fenelon with 11 and a half minutes to go.
Yeah, I mean, fresh legs up front. Dixon's not done too much wrong, really, but just not done them a lot in general. One of those sorts of games for the front man. Not really had a clear-cut chance. He won most recently, but kind of was an instinctive sort of finish. Didn't have much time to think about it as he dribbled wide. Fenelon now can be a pain up front, physical player. You never know what sort of thing he can put out of the hat, so hopefully it'll be a goal.
Fourth Horsham change of the afternoon, 11 minutes to go. Lovely kick from Carey to Brivio, played through, and Ogunwamade might just get there. He has ahead of Halsey on the right wing. Ogunwamade looks to dance his way through into the penalty area. He's got in there. Halsey just about gets ahead of him and lets it drop behind for the Hendon goal kick, which now Salomon places down on the surface. And again, just waits for all the black and white shirts to sprint forward into the Horsham half. And he launches it long. Barker's gone down. It's flicked on by Cole. Barker able to clear away. Is Crokin there? Didn't look like he had his eyes on the ball as he looks right at Fenelon and just body checked him to let the ball run out of play for a Hendon throw.
His gaffer shouted body. He went and looked at Fenelon. Does exactly that, bodies, nothing to do with the ball. The ball dribbles out for a throw-in. We are shammed to giving that back to him right away, which he's going to do here. No, he's not.
10 minutes to go. Forward go Hendon. Seri, lovely back heels. Sparks and Strange just about able to communicate to each other who should clear it away. Cole throws it quickly. Seri hooks it across onto the edge of the 6-yard box. Sparks heads it away, as does Brivio. Fenelon holding it up, nods it down to Brivio, who waits for Meekham's to run, but he just can't get near the ball. Salomon shanks his clearance. It's headed away. Brivio nods it down. Fenelon to Barker. Horsham in possession in the attacking half with a little over 9 minutes to go. Off goes Harding, finding Ogunwamade, right wing. Ogunwamade on the edge of the 18-yard box, plays it back, the cross in. Fenelon does get a head on it, but it drops well over the bar and back off the protective netting behind the goal.
Yeah, it's never really set there. It just kind of like hit his head, and Luke didn't really go for it in sort of an aggressive way. He just kind of let it hit his head. He leaped over for a goal kick, but it's good play. But that's what you kind of want to be giving Fenelon in the box. Put balls into the box and challenge for, hustle for, and you never know what you can come from it.
Barker wins the header. Fenelon unable to get on the end of it. It's a shank clearance away, which has dropped behind us in the media gantry. As we've got 8.5 minutes to go of regular time. It's Horsham 1, Hendon 0 at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium, as the referee has called play back before the restart, as he's unhappy with where Harding was with his throw-in. Fenelon able to just get a touch on the flick on. The clearance from Seri is right into Brivio, or rather it was Anoke Bowadi who stood over the throw, as Brivio does really well to get away from Talla. Curls his pass left, finding Sparks, who's got Seri for company. Sparks now in possession. He just has to again play the ball back for Philpott. And Horsham go all the way back to their goalkeeper Carey, who now will go along with it. Harding can't keep it in play. He's arguably halted the restart there as he kicked the ball away from Anoke Bowadi. The referee does get the yellow card out, and he'll book Harding for it.
I mean, get the manager off the pitch for a start. He's so close to the byline. Harding could have gone through and actually go for the ball properly. The manager's so close. Yeah, the linesman's coming over now to tell him to stand back. Yeah, he's so close to the byline.
As he's just saying to that Hendon coaching staff, we'll just have two of you stood in the technical area for the last few moments, as Horsham again have got the ball in their midfield. Barker has Ogunwamade ahead of him, but he plays it centrally. Fenelon can't get on the end of it. Talla pokes it behind, and Ogunwamade there is just disagreeing with Barker. And again, the Horsham players, they're not getting on with each other at all in this second half. They've been arguing with each other for majority of it. They've not really all been on the same page in the second half. And they still lead by a goal to nil with 83.5 minutes played. There's forward go Hendon. It's played in field for Gordon. Fenelon puts him off balance. Seri able to get away from Barker, who has kept the ball in his knees, jumped up and played a beautiful pass to Ogunwamade, who's one-on-one. Ogunwamade in the penalty area. He's been pushed over, but nothing given by the referee. It did look really soft as Crokin just lent into him, but Ogunwamade went down, put under pressure, couldn't get a shot away, but another Horsham chance goes begging.
It's a hard touch, that's why he's kind of been forced to this guy over really. The touch was heavy, going towards the keeper. He knew it was running away from him, so he kind of just took a gamble to go down, and nothing's really come from that. It's another huge chance wasted.
Gordon into Muir for Hendon, who are trying desperately to push for an equaliser. Spoil Horsham's non-league day. 84.5 minutes almost played. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. As forward go Hendon. It's played wide for Halsey. Can't get there ahead of Harding, and it's gone out of play. Going back to your comments, Matt Elder, he's cheering on the boys from Vancouver, and he thanks us for all of his work. Well, we thank you for listening in, especially over in Vancouver, given the time difference, as none of the Horsham players want to go over and retrieve the ball, so the Hendon man Cole has had to go over and get it back for the Horsham keeper Carey. As those Hendon fans, still credit to them, they've been non-stop singing the entire game, even with their side 1-0 down since the 4th minute. As forward go Horsham with Brivio, curl pass, can't find Ogunwamade. Sterling's there to hook it away. 5 minutes to go of regular time. Horsham 1, Hendon 0 at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium. And can the Hornets not only find one more opportunity to get themselves a goal, how about getting another goal? As we await the throw-in to get play restarted, as it drops out of play for another Horsham throw. Harding stood with the ball in his hands as he looks for an option in a yellow and green shirt. Plays it through. Brivio in the penalty area, just can't break away from Gordon, who's inviting the pressure. Gordon running back to his own goal. Salomon able to clear it. Strange cuts it out. That one will drop into the possession of Sterling, who clips it to the left wing. Looking for Kawambi, who's away from Fenelon. Played in field for Tala. Barker gets there ahead of him. Hendon's still in possession as Seri chests it down in the Horsham half. He curls it wide for Anokie Bowady. Looks to get away from Harding, and he has done. Off goes the Hendon wide man. Muir back to him, but the pass is mishit. Muir brings down. Oh my God! But the foul's been given the other way around.
There's no way.
Ogumamade, he was knocked off the ball. It's amazing how the foul's been given the other way. Ogumamade is the man who's been pushed off the ball.
And he's gone down to kind of retrieve the ball. He's got his foot on the ball clearly. Then been like kind of knocked over in the process. The rest had to think about it, blown the whistle, and yeah, do you know what? Yeah, I don't know what to say.
3 minutes to go of regular time. Horsham 1, Hendon 0, and a few hairs on the back of necks may stand up if Rodell Gordon's got something special in his locker from this free kick. He strikes it, but it's well over the bar, back off the roof of the Octatech stand. You can just see there from the reaction of the Hendon fans behind that goal. They're not very happy with that free kick. As Horsham again will just wait for Carey to take his time. The Horsham goalkeeper just places the ball down on the edge of his 6-yard box, pushes everyone forward in a yellow and green shirt. He boots it long and central. It's right at the head of Kawambe, flicked on by Muir, might drop for Seri. Strange just about able to clear the ball, and it goes behind for the Hendon throw, which they may look to take quickly, and why not? 2 minutes to go of regular time. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. Ajamang with the first clearance couldn't get it away. He did with the second. Might drop for Barker. Ajamang takes over and does well. I thought he'd done well to get away from his man, but he hasn't. Here's Anokie Bowady. Back for Cole. It's on the right side of the penalty area with Seri. He looks to curl one to the far corner. Carey backpedaling, but had it covered. Eyes on the ball the whole time. Just gets it in his gloves. And again, with the ball in his left arm, will just take his time with the ball in his hands as he awaits everyone to get up the pitch. Horsham's goalkeeper drop kicks it long. Halsey just could head it out of play, but it looked as if that Halsey didn't need to do that because the ball was going to go out of play for a Hendon throw, but their fullback opted just to head it out and clear the danger. Hendon a goal down with a little over a minute to go of regular time. Horsham really are very fortunate that they've not had too much to worry about in a defensive sense. When Hendon have got forward, they've been able to deal with the opportunities as Cole has to knock it back for Gordon on the turn, playing it back for Tala.
Centre half's up front now for them as well.
He is. Crokin has been sent forward from centre half. Even Halsey is actually like another winger, and you think if Horsham win the ball in this sort of area, they can take advantage. Cole now with the ball at his feet, plays it wide for Anokie Bowady for Hendon, who haven't got very long left at all. They've got 25 seconds left of regular time to find an equaliser. Here is Anokie Bowady in the penalty area away from Harding, pulled across. Strange clears it right back to him. Muir can't get a touch on it, and Ajamang clears it. That will do indeed, as Hendon still applying all the pressure. Gordon swings the ball to the back post. It finds Halsey, right side of the penalty area. Cole on the edge of the box into Anokie Bowady. Can't get away from Harding. Cole slips in the turf, and Ajamang's come away with the ball, and off go Horsham. Ajamang sprinting away. He's been clipped from behind by Cole. Straight away the yellow card.
6 minutes and on time. 6 minutes.
Goodness me, it's getting even more nervy now. As Benji's just said there, 6 minutes of added time. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. And you feel the dynamic will very much change now with that the scoreline and 6 minutes to go. You think Horsham, as they're doing now, they're just halting the restart. They're taking their time to run the clock down and wait as long as they possibly can before play has to resume. But you have to look back on the game as a whole and wonder, if it is to finish 1-0, how on earth has that been the case? They've had so many chances have the Hornets, and they just haven't been able to take them, as they may get one more chance. But Ogunwamade has ventured away. He's in the right side of the penalty area. Pulled back, Fenelon, oh, it's blocked! Brivio in the area to the right of goal. He pulls it across, but Salomon gets a glove on it and picks the ball up.
That was it to seal it, that was it. Great block though.
As the long ball pumped forward, Strange's header is off the back of Muir. Harding clears it into the Hendon man, will be a Horsham throw, but again it's another chance where Horsham get the ball. They're in a wide area, the winger beats the fullback, but the cross into the area, it just cannot find its intended target. It really has been the story of the afternoon for Horsham, who took the lead within 4 minutes, and you thought it was going to be a free-flowing goal-scoring performance against a side who have not won away from home all season in Hendon. Before today, not won in 19 games. But Horsham, perhaps they'll be thanking their lucky stars that they got themselves the goal that early on, and they've been able to hold on to it as Meekums wins it back off Muir to the right of the halfway line. He gives it away, wins it back, gives it away again. The ball bobbling around the halfway line. Sparks goes up to win the header. Muir is... No, sorry, it's not Muir, it's Kawimbe who's got away from Barker. And Barker able just to clear the ball out, and it'll be a Hendon throw. It's played back for Gordon. Again, everyone in the white and black shirts go forward. Philpott gets in front of Muir, does really well to use his strength, and it runs behind for a goal kick. As we've played 2.5 minutes of the 6 added on, Horsham 1, Hendon 0, but still you wonder, how is that the scoreline in this game? Horsham could have had so many more.
Yeah, we really should have done. I don't know what the refs having a discussion with the linesman for.
I think it's to do with the Horsham coaching staff, because he's just given a yellow card to Dom DePaola.
What's going on?
There's Dom DePaola even asked the linesman for what. I don't think he got an answer in the end. Carey restarts play with his goal kick. Halfway through the 6 added on, 3 of them played. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. Can the Hornets find a goal to kill this off?
Too much on that.
Going to get an equaliser as Ajamang's long ball. Crokin gets in front of Fenelon. Play is continued, and that's come off Crokin last. That was brilliant play by Fenelon, because Ajamang's pass was overhit. Looked like he was chasing the loose ball, but it went behind. Horsham have a corner.
Yeah, fantastic play there from the front man. To be fair, surprised the ref not giving a goal kick for that one. But yeah, he's won a corner out of nothing really, so I'm guessing we'll keep it in the corner, waste some time, hopefully see out this victory.
That's exactly what they'll do, Horsham, because Brivio and Ogunwamade have played that corner short amongst themselves. Horsham only put about 2 men in the penalty area from that corner, as referee gives a foul in Hendon's favour. Again, a lot of disagreement from the Horsham players and fans. We've only got 2 minutes left of the 6 added on. Horsham 1, Hendon 0. Will Hendon score a late goal to get themselves back in that, as that clearance from Barker's come right back off our media again.
That was going for me then. He got knocked out.
As the throw-in is played long, Barker heads it away. It goes out for the Hendon throw, deep inside the Horsham half. Can they find one last opportunity, Hendon, to steal a point? 90 seconds left of added time. Long throw-in from Talla, cleared away, right back to him. He hooks it into the area. Meekums lets the ball bounce before heading it away, and he's kept possession. Meekums, he's got Fenelon ahead of him, and Meekums does play him in. Fenelon to the left of goal, has Ogunwamade with him, but he's tried to slip it onto his left foot, and he's tackled by Sterling. And again, that just sums it up. That's happened every time Horsham have gone forward.
Another hour on this game, still want to score a second goal. They're just going to score 1 goal today. Whether we concede or not, it's relevant now. Well, it's not relevant, but we're not going to score any more goals.
There's only a minute left of added time. That really was the chance. Fenelon, all he had to do was play it across the face of goal to Ogunwamade, unmarked in the area, but he just tried to shift the ball onto his other foot, couldn't find the pass, and another chance goes begging for the Hornets to kill it off. They still lead by a goal to 0. They have done now for 90 minutes, but you can't help but wonder how that's the scoreline. There's only 20 seconds left of added time, and even with Horsham a goal up, it'll still, much like last weekend against Bowers and Pitsea, when Horsham beat the side bottom of the league, you would have felt that the feeling after the game was quite a weird one. As we've just heard, Dartford have scored a second goal. They've killed their game off, and they will be sitting top of the Isthmian League Premier Division. The 6 minutes are up. Is there one last chance in this game? Halsey hooks it to the edge of the area. Barker clears it away with his head. It drops for Brivio, who may look to play it long. He does, looking for Ogunwamade. He's overhit it. It's out of play for a throw-in, but the referee will continue play. Brivio's asking the referee, why haven't you blown the whistle? That should be it. Hendon take their throw. Salomon ventures forward well off his goal line. He boots it forward. Strange with a push in the back on Surrey. Nothing given. The ball kept in play by Brivio, and off he goes. He's tackled from behind, and it's a Horsham throw in the Hendon half, and you feel that really will be it. We're approaching the 7th minute played of added time, as the referee just orders the Horsham players to hurry up and take the throw in. Harding slowly walks over to the ball. He's now got it in his hands. The referee blows his whistle to let the throw in be taken. Brivio wins the header. He has to get to the second ball as well. He sees it drop out, and there's the final whistle. Hendon are still without a win on the road this season after 18 away games. They're now 20 games without a win, of which they have lost 15. But Horsham there, they've won by a goal to nil, but it's going to be a very weird feeling you'd sense amongst the fans. They've won by a goal to nil. They scored within the first 4 minutes. They couldn't find the back of the net after that. It ends Horsham 1, Hendon 0. But you can't help but think that should have been so much more.
Yeah, it really should have been. I mean, we take the win, of course we will, but there's definitely plenty of things to work on the training for Don DePaolo and his coaching team. The main thing being just taking your chances, working in attacking scenarios, whether it be down the left flank or the right flank. Just real lack of cutting edge and precision will force this game to remain just one goal in it. I mean, Hendon can take some positives on their end, obviously looking like they are going to go down. I mean, they huffed and puffed, didn't create anything too clear cut, but nonetheless they were in the game for the entirety. Obviously, the really sloppy first 10-15 minutes have been a reason they're going to be going home with nothing, and while we'll be going back to our homes with all 3 points. So a well-fought game. Both teams did huff and puff, and they just about edge it.
As we're going to quickly just bring you the scorelines from elsewhere, we'll begin with the ones that we know are full-time results. Cheshunt have beaten Folkestone and Victor 1-0. Dover get themselves a huge 3 points in the playoff race. They've beaten Dulwich Hamlet by a goal to nil. And of course here it's ended Horsham 1, Hendon 0. Elsewhere, Wingate are still beating Billericay by 2 goals to 1. Dartford are 2-0 up against Bognor Regis Town. Bowers and Pitsea are going to be relegated. They have lost 4-0 away at Cray Wanderers. Nyron Clunis got a hat-trick. Chatham Town lead #United by a goal to nil. Hastings lose 2-0 at home to Chichester City. Lewis 4, Cray Valley Paper Mills 1. Potters Bar lead Canby by a goal to nil, and Whitehawk beating Carshalton by 2 goals to nil. So as it stands in the table, Horsham remain third on 69 points, Billericay second on 72, Dartford top on 73. It's now down to a 4-point gap, but Horsham there, you could feel that with that 1-0 win perhaps have been made to spare a few blushes, but 3 points is ultimately what matters at the end of the day, and the Hornets have got it. It finishes at the Fusion Aviation Community Stadium. Horsham 1, Hendon 0.
There you go.
Post full-time on the main feed.
What's that?
On stories.
On the main as well, yeah.